Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Spawncast episode.
Hang on. I hate it when it does this.
Are we live?
We are, but
we live?
hang on. Boom. There you go. There you go.
Welcome to Spawncast episode 230. Max is off. He's somewhere. He might pop in. We'll see. Click is actually attending to a few things tonight, so she'll be back next week. But we did bring on a guest tonight to help us out here. That is Jeff Grubb. Jeff, thanks for joining us tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. How's it going, everybody? I'm happy to be here.
Good to have Jeff here. We have a bunch of stuff to go over tonight, which includes the Gamescom that gave us that Halo Infinite release date, as well as Horizon Forbidden West release date. And MVG just keeps on being right about this stuff. So we'll go over all of that, as well as Gamescom's lineup and everything that was revealed there. And we got some games we'll talk about as well with Psychonauts and No More Heroes. Let's go around here. We're going to start with MVG.
Hey, I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on. Great to be here.
Good to have MVG here. Then we have RGTA5, Sean.
Yo, what's up?
Good to have Sean here. Good to have Sean. And we got OJ, Player Essence.
What's up? Good to be here. Another week.
Another week. We got Jordan Fringe.
Glad to be here. I finally played some Hades.
Oh, good.
Oh, wow.
That was off Game Pass?
That was off Game Pass. I gave it a shot. Yeah.
He was
Nice.
talking about some Game Pass. You were saying you just went crazy on Game Pass this past week, just checking out some of the backlog to see what was
Yeah, why not? I finished up Iki Island with Ghost, the Ghost DLC, and I was like, all right, I don't really have much on the list. Let me just see what Game Pass has. And I was like, you know what? This is a good excuse to finally sit down and try some Hades. And yeah, it's really good. I do love the art style. I think the drawings of the gods look great. So yeah, it's a fun time.
Awesome.
Nice.
Awesome. Very good. And then we got Evan.
Yep.
Hanging out, monitoring chat, but he will be participating in a conversation tonight with Psychonauts 2 because he actually beat it. So it'll be good to hear his thoughts on that. And we have Nate the Hate.
Yes, and way back in April, I told people to prepare for a February release date for Horizon Forbidden West.
I don't know. MVG told us a long time ago that Halo Infinite wasn't going to come out with the Series X. You remember that? I have an OBS recording somewhere out there on one of these hard drives where MVG told us all about how Halo Infinite was not going to come out when it was supposed to, and that was before they even showed the game. You remember that? Was that it 2 years ago or something?
Yep.
That was a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
So it's. I'll find it someday. Don't worry. But MVG's been telling us for a while that wasn't going to come out and that Horizon wasn't going to come out this year. So I don't know, Nate. I think MVG's he's kind of on it right now.
Hey, I know way back in April, I was saying Horizon's not making this year. It's going to come out in February 2022. You can find it on the Spawncast.
You're going to upload to your channel at some point, right?
What?
On Nate the Hate.
What, the random clip?
No, it's just
Or like an
you haven't
episode?
really been doing anything on there. You're uploading something soon?
Well, MVG has been working on Quake.
Sure.
So, we've been busy on that front. But yeah, we have a new episode dropping on Monday morning.
There you go. I was setting you up. That's what I was trying to do.
It's a quality episode.
There you go. Okay. There's apparently some stuff we need to hear in there. So there might be some Metroid Dread talk. So
It's a little bit.
We'll be checking that out. All right, very good, very good. So, like I said, we got a couple things to go over here tonight. Do we want to start with No More Heroes 3 right away?
Yep.
Okay, that's what I thought. No More Heroes 3, it's out now. Came out yesterday, and they sent this game out way early. Like, I was surprised how early they sent this game out. Like, they gave us plenty of time. It was like a week and a half or something.
No, it was longer than that. It was almost like 3 weeks.
Yeah, like I beat the game like a week before it came out, and I was like, "Wow, this is the first time in a long time that it's been this like where I have this long to like reflect on the game and then start going back New Game Plus, even all this stuff." So, like, what do we think about No More Heroes 3? Because it came out, I think the review's Metacritic is 75 right now, which I said
74, I think.
I think it was going to be mid to low 70s, so it is exactly where I figured it would be.
That's where I put it too. Mid 70s. Yes, yeah. Mid 70s.
So that's where I was thinking it's right in there. But hey, we got some different opinions on this game. It's interesting because there's so much to this game, even though I think at its core it's a pretty standard No More Heroes game. But
that is one of the problems.
Interesting.
That it is a standard No More Heroes game. It didn't evolve the franchise any. It's if you enjoy the franchise for what it is, it's a fine game. You will enjoy it. You also have to look past the laughable resolution that this game renders at, the consistent frame drops, the just overall bugginess of the game is significant pop-in. There's a lot of textures that don't load while you're navigating the open world. And I hate that I see a lot of people on forums and social media say, oh, that's just Suda's style. Being shitty isn't a style. We cannot forgive that and just say, well, that's just a Suda game. No, that's ridiculous to even put out those thoughts.
Preach! Woo!
I think the weakest part is that overworld for the most part, because they were like, all right, you did all this cool stuff. More cool stuff's coming. Now go to the overworld. So you
The
can get there.
overworld is terrible.
I mean, they had that as a menu in the second one, right?
Yeah, like I don't understand. And the one thing that baffles my mind about the whole it's Suda style or anything, No More Heroes 1 and 2 were considered good-looking Wii games because of the hardware. They when they came out, go back and read the reviews. It was a visually pleasing game that had great gameplay for the Wii. We are 2 generations removed from the Wii now. We are on the Nintendo Switch, and this looks like a budget Wii or PS2 game. And I'm sorry, if the best game I could think of a good comparison to is Deadly Premonition 2. Now, I think it's better than Deadly Premonition 2, but Deadly Premonition 2 Overworld absolutely sucked. And it's like, yeah, it sucked in the first game, but it still worked. And in Deadly Premonition 2, it was just like absolute shit. And then in this
really
game,
bad in that one. It was really bad in Deadly Premonition 2.
and I don't understand. The 9s and the 9.5s for this game blow my mind. I don't understand how you could sit there and say that a game where half of it is fantastic. Let's not get this muddied because people think, RGT just trying to be controversial. No, in my video I said the music is fucking fantastic and the gameplay, as far as the combat, is fantastic.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
when half of the game has you in this overworld and the loop is go to yellow spot on map and then do a little fight in a closed area where the game runs nice and smooth, then go back to open world where it runs like absolute ass. If this game came out on any other platform, it would be lambasted. I
think the issue is if you took out the overworld and like the parts between the fights, the game would be like 5 hours long.
But wouldn't you rather have a tight, quality 6-hour game
and that's the thing,
12-hour game that's bloated with mini games?
Well, yeah, because
rotate the analog stick and unplug the toilet.
I mean, that was fun the first time, right?
Yeah, I mean that's fun. Like even the mini games didn't really bother me all that much because that's how it was in previous No More Heroes games. So I didn't even necessarily mind those all that much, but it was just like it should have been a tight 6 to 7 hour game with no overworld nonsense. And then you don't even have to do it at a $60. If you go in at $50, because you're expecting people, you have to, when it's a $60 game, you have to compare it to other $60 games. I mean, that's just the fact of the matter. If you're saying that this is a $60 game, you're saying that there's a certain level of quality and a certain level of game that people come to expect with paying full price for a game. And I'm sorry, but this game does not meet any of the standard metrics that a game that gets 9s and 9.5s. Motherfuckers are out here saying that this game is like equal in rating to Ratchet and Clank and Psychonauts 2 and Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Odyssey. They're both $60 games. They're both games that are rating at a 9 or higher. It blows my mind. It blows my mind.
Can I interject as a hardcore No More Heroes fan?
You can. That's why we're here.
Yeah, can I interject? So basically, I've been playing the No More Heroes games since literally day one. I 100% every single No More Heroes game. And I think what No More Heroes, why people give it that, there's a thing called, you guys remember Tilt? I think it was a Game Pro used to call it Tilt. Like it was a factor.
Reviewers Tilt, and I think that was at GameSpot. They had it. Yeah.
They call it Tilt. So the tilt with No More Heroes games is always like off the chart because of how different it is. It's just, there's no other game like it. Since it's so different and since it does so many different things, the tilt on these type of games are insane. And you combine that with Suda's combat and the combat style, I can see, I wouldn't give it a 9, but I can see why people like the game because the story's actually really good. The story's good. The gameplay is fantastic. And to be honest, if you play on normal, the game's super easy. The game's not hard. You got to play this game, and I think some of these people that are hardcore into it are playing it on spicy or playing it on harder because it forces you to actually use all the different combat options you have. Therefore, you get a bit more enjoyment out of it. I'm a hardcore action game player. That's like what my channel is, RPGs and action games, and I always play on the harder ones with this, and I got more enjoyment out of this one, despite the jank with the overworld. I agree with all that you guys said. I don't disagree with any of that. Despite the jank, the combat and how they varied up the actual enemies, way more varied than what they had in previous No More Heroes games with like the designated matches. So it just created like I said, crazy tilt for some people to where you combine that with the story, Suda's combat that he did, all the different ability, the Death Glove, which is a brand new thing. It just made it to where some people just said, "Yo, this is freaking incredible. I don't care about this crappy overworld because all I care about is the combat and how crazy the story is." Because to be honest, you don't got to do all the open world stuff. You really don't. You can just farm. What's it called, those little battles, those death matches that you do, and you can just replay the bosses, and it gives you crazy amounts of weapon and crazy amounts of money. So you don't even need to do the open world stuff at the end of the day. You can just do that. So I mean, I think that's where some of that comes in. But I agree with you guys. I agree. Like overall, I gave it an 8. I thought it was a good experience. I thought it was like the combat was the best in the series. But definitely I would have liked more of a polished experience. Maybe like No More Heroes 2, or what they could have done was, I don't know why there's like 5 different areas or whatever. Like, why do all that? Just make Santa Destroy badass. You know, just make that depth and make Santa Destroy really like Neo Brazil. There's like nothing in Neo Brazil. Like it's, you guys remember Neo Brazil? It's like the worst.
Some of it's empty, but the problem you run into is it's empty, but it has like these spots you can't go. Like like there was one part where I was walking around. It's like all the buildings are destroyed, and like I see the designated fight spot, and I'm like, I'm just gonna jump over this barrier, and I couldn't for some reason, even though there's like battle? Even though there's like a little bit of rubble in front of me, I can't jump over. I'm like, this is that place weird. So to go all the way around.
The Call of Duty one.
That was unnecessary. Why did they take
and that filter? Why was there a filter on that level?
I don't know. It was horrible. I hated going there. I was like, what is this even doing in this game?
I like that idea though, OJ. If Suda just in the next one, maybe does No More Heroes 4, if he's like, you know what, rather than try to make all these weird overworlds, let's just do one. Yeah. Make it like medium size, but really pack in a lot of content. I think that's a good idea for the game.
There's the first game did.
There's 2 things that I see popping up in the chat. The first thing is a lot of people talking about the power of the Switch, and that's what held this game back. No, that's silly talk. Like, there are other open world games on the Nintendo Switch, like Breath of the Wild. Does Breath of the Wild run like that? Lego City Undercover, Saints Row 3 and 4.
Astral Chain has a
look at Astral Chain. Look at Skyrim on the system. And 2, I saw one comment I wanted. Hate on it with your awesome flat bill hat, straight mouth from Mama Sosa. I would just like to let everyone in the chat know that I took part in a thank you video for Suda51 and a congratulations video for him launching this game prior to me doing my video on it, because they knew that I was a fan of the franchise. So they did a private in-house thank you and congratulations video to Suda51, and I took part of that. So no, it's not hate. It's not blind hate. I know the franchise. I owned them both on the Wii, and I bought them much like OJ on day one because I was like, holy shit, these look like really cool Wii games. I just wanted to see it progress a little bit more, and I was hopeful that the overworld sections, if you're going to do them, I just wanted them to run better. I love the combat, but the fact that you had to spend so much time in the overworld, it just... And another thing I thought was kind of weird was it takes place 10 years after No More Heroes 2, but Travis is like the same character. He's the same person, and it's like, I get it, but if you think about like you 10 years ago versus you today, like you could still be the same core person. Like if I saw someone on the street that I knew from 10 years ago, like we would still, recognize each other, but things about you tend to change a little bit. And it just felt like this was like the day after No More Heroes 2 instead of, 10 years down the road.
Listen, all I know is that I clicked on Sean's video at random, and it said, "This is a piece of shit game. How did they release it?" Then I clicked off the video.
So he liked it. Okay, all right.
I mean, I would if I did number scores, I would probably a 5 to 6-ish area, maybe a 6. You know, because I really did enjoy the combat, and I loved just how fast and fluid, and dodging at the right time and blocking at the right time, and getting the special abilities. But that's another thing. You get all the special abilities right in one juncture of the game that happens very early. It's like, why didn't you spread this out to make the gameplay fun throughout, so you're getting new abilities as you play throughout the game to give you incentive? Once you get those 4 total abilities, that happens, like I said, very early in the game. Like, that's it. It's a weird decision to make.
That's where the easiness of the normal factors in, because if you're playing it on hard, you're going to want to power up your special moves, and those take a lot of lesson. You're going to need to. It's you can't just power. I mean, you could just put it all into that, but you need to power up your health. You need to power up your everything.
I mean, I was doing that anyways, just because. Yeah. I mean, you got to spend money somehow.
Yeah, that's where it factors in, I think, to where it creates a problem, because they gave you all of that right there at the beginning. I kind of like that, because then I can take on any of the I can already put together all the strategies that I need to put together for the bosses, because you can use them on whenever. So I thought that was cool. And then just take your time collecting different chips to upgrade your death glove to where you can manipulate that. But I definitely see what you're saying too, with that. But I would have thought that that you can actually upgrade the have a level, a version 2 version of the force push, or it kind of evolves a bit more with the power as you play through. I thought maybe they'd do that, but I realized that they're not going to do it very early. I was like, they're not going to do that. So
I like the combat. Everything felt like it had impact when you would actually connect with the heavy attacks, and the wrestling moves felt like they had some impact. So I mean, when you get things going and you start chaining stuff together, there's a lot of satisfaction there. So the combat, all that, is very good. Maybe I'll work on the open world, or keep that in mind for the next. I'm
going to talk to Suda. I took part in that video too as well. Me and Suda are homies.
All right, tell him I saw what's up. I even give him props.
He ain't talking to you no more.
I gave him props on Shadows of the Damned, on Killer 7, on No More Heroes 1 and No More Heroes 2. I did not mention
Suda doesn't like the Knicks either. He doesn't like the Knicks. He also said he's not a Knicks fan.
You hear me, Suda? Fuck you. Knicks all day, baby.
He's actually a Chicago Bulls fan, and he's a San Francisco 49ers fan. So he likes me a lot more. It's hard.
Let's
he hates the Chiefs. He hates the Chiefs too.
He hates the Chiefs too.
They steal Super Bowls.
Hey, whoa,
right,
what the hell?
I'm done.
Having a Discord
is going on?
I don't know. I think Suda's going to go to Suplex City.
Lollipop Chainsaw, yeah, that was a good one too.
No, it wasn't.
It's all right. I liked it.
That game is terrible.
Have you got a Discord question for us?
Thoughts on if the national decks will come back for Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, if it will only go up to Gen 4, or if they'll just stick with Sword and Shield decks?
It's not coming back. They're just going to make everyone mad.
It's not coming back. National Dex isn't coming back.
Probably. I wouldn't expect it, is what I'll say. Got another one, Evan?
It looks like Switch owners are getting a crowded release schedule. Do we think this is going to negatively affect sales for some of these titles?
What are we referring to?
Yeah, we need some context to this release schedule. Crowding.
I don't think
he's probably thinking like a game like Neo, The World Ends With You, something like that, because it released with Monster Hunter, Skyward Sword, so.
I'm trying to think. We have a lot of the games are, for the most part, spaced out. I think what Shin Megami is right next to Pokemon. Those are the closest titles
those are
releasing.
So radically different.
Yeah, they're so different.
Yeah. I don't think these games are gonna get hurt by this stuff. It's gonna be complementary in most cases, where people are gonna get excited to go buy games, and they're gonna buy 2 games instead of just one. Because I'll get this and that.
The reference is also in time. I guess for the more casual player who might not have hours a day to play. Are they really going to buy 4 titles if they know that those 4 titles are going to maybe take them 2 years to complete?
Which game do you think they would pass on at the holiday games? So there's a Mario Party, there's a WarioWare.
Probably
I'm thinking WarioWare is probably what they pass on.
We're talking about the casual Switch audience?
Yeah.
You know the answer to that.
I'll say Sean Dancer.
Metroid Dread.
Metroid Dread.
Metroid Dread. No. You're gonna the people who are gonna buy
isn't running out to buy Dread.
The people who are buying Mario Party are the same people that are gonna buy WarioWare.
That's true. WarioWare better not out. If WarioWare outsells Metroid, there's a problem out here.
It's not.
That won't happen.
I would get an authentic
WarioWare has outsold the best Metroid.
I will buy a Ric Flair robe for that shit.
Selling WarioWare I think it's almost at 3 million actually.
Wait, did you say Ric Flair robe?
I will buy a Ric Flair robe.
Are you going to perform Ric Flair actions?
Celebrate. I'll get a wig and everything.
We just need 3 million in one. It's 3 million.
It's gonna hit that easily. It's already over. I know. You already know this. It's already over, dude.
It's nowhere near over. How is it over?
Okay, if it comes out and reviews bad, it's not over. But
okay,
right
yeah,
now,
that's true.
Even if it reviews good, I am sorry. You cannot provide me with statistical data to prove me wrong at this date and time.
I can provide you with
Clubhouse games like that sold like 2 million copies or something like Clubhouse.
It's a casual game.
Come on,
that's a casual
According to
game.
sales data, WarioWare Touched is the best-selling WarioWare game at 2.47 million.
Okay, so yeah, all right.
On the DS,
so it's
what
possible.
site did you use? What site was that night?
VG sales.
Okay, all right.
So, I mean, if those numbers are accurate, I mean, we're looking at if WarioWare for the Switch does, let's say 2.5 million. I mean, that's a pretty big success.
Yeah, it better not. If it outsells Metroid, there's a problem.
I'm gonna party in the streets.
It's actually an interesting topic because Japan is going to show up for WarioWare in greater numbers than it's going to show up for Metroid Dread.
No, Japan, you need to show up for Dread.
Correct.
Japan's not showing up for Dread.
Right now, it's trending that Dread is going to be a big release for the Switch right now.
Where? Here?
Based on Amazon, based on GameStop pre-order charts, based on launching with new hardware, it is trending that it's definitely going to sell.
I get that. I think you're going to see reports of it sold over 1 million in the first couple days it was on the market or something like that. I would not be fully surprised. But you got to remember, it's going to be. I'm not even looking at the launch of the game. I'm looking at that tail end, and I think the tail end is where it's going to fizzle out.
So. The good news is we'll I
don't give a fuck either way. I bought 2 copies of the game.
I'm ready for Battle Wonderworld.
I'm ready to play this game. That new trailer looked amazing. It looks like a fantastic game.
I'm ready for that gameplay of Balan, baby. That's what I'm ready for.
Wouldn't it be funny if I lost this in my move?
Don't worry,
I would just
I'll get you a code. I might still have an extra code laying around somewhere.
Don't worry, I got a copy just for you, RGT. You want me to sign it? I got a copy just for you right over here, bro.
I have a good friend at Square. They'll gladly send you a copy.
You know what we should have made him play?
Situation.
We shouldn't have made him play Balan. We should have made him play Little Town Hero because that game is like really bad.
It's been patched, so you don't have like the 55-second move anymore.
No, you got to play it unpatched.
Buy it. No updates, damn it. Give me the worst version. I like how somebody in the chat said, I'm wrong if they price it aggressively next year, because Nintendo is definitely known for aggressively pricing their games.
Well, here's the good news. If word comes out early that it's selling really, really well, you might be on stage with us and you could explain to the live audience what's going on.
I will not be. I'm cool as a cucumber with this situation.
I locked up a time for the Spawncast live. So
those GameSpot trending pre-orders higher than the best.
What day is it?
Is it scaring you a little bit? Is it making you sweat a little bit?
No.
Better. Okay.
If it sells 3 million copies in the first 6 months, you also have to read the Balan book. Can we do that? That would be
okay. But what's my
work of Balan?
I would need an incentive.
I have to read it because of a Patreon reward or whatever. So I have to read it by the end of this month, and I have to do a book report, and I don't want to be alone in that. That's I'm trying to rope someone else in.
Damn, that sucks.
Get grubbing on there. Get grubbing on that, man. Or get RGT on that.
You're gonna know like all the lore and everything for Balan.
What is my reward if it doesn't sell? Though, because I will do that, but I need an incentive.
You get the greatest reward of all, not playing Balan.
Exactly.
that is a beautiful reward.
And on top of that, you get the video. I was right. You know, you get the video.
Dude,
I was right. You get the.
And I'm gonna be in my new place whenever that occurs, and I'm gonna have my new setup.
That's what you should do, Sean. You should basically what you should do
MTV
is
cribs it.
If you get it right, you can make your video, and then everyone on the Spawncast has to shout you out in their next video about that.
Yes, perfect. I'm in.
You've been getting called out like everywhere, so
yeah,
that's fine.
That'd be fair.
It's like people randomly calling you out. Game Explain.
Whoa! Wait a minute now. MVG has been on Sean's side. I believe in Sean's cause as well. As far as the first year goes.
Hold on. To be fair, I was on Sean's side, but then he had that shitty take with Metal Gear Tactics.
Right. So Metal Slug. Oh yeah.
Sean.
Sorry.
Wait, Metal Gear, man. Nobody likes
Metal Slug Tactics. You said.
Remember Metal Gear Acid? God, I was such a Kojima dick sucker at that point in my life. I was like, Metal Gear, this is the coolest game ever, and I'm trying to play it on my PSP, like trying to make myself enjoy it. Oh, so bad.
We got another Discord question, Evan.
How does the cast feel about Doke V, the cartoonish MMO that we just saw?
Was that trailer that was like 25 minutes long?
Yeah.
What was happening? And they kept singing.
And you could possibly imagine in it. It's like one of those Chinese games that like is just like it keeps going and then it turns into 5 different things as you're watching. It's like a Paul McCartney song.
It's a Pokemon style game.
Yeah, Pokemon element to it. Yeah,
it's not. It looks floaty and kind of like.
It looks like it lacks direction. Like I watched it and I'm like, what am I doing in this game? Am I riding a skateboard? Is it a skateboarding game?
It's a bit of everything.
You're gonna play it once. It's gonna be bad, and then 3 years from now, it's gonna be the biggest game in the world with like kids.
That's kind of what Pearl Abyss does. Like that's how Black Desert exists.
So what you're saying is it's gonna outsell Metroid Dread.
Basically.
Well, is it not free to play? I figured it was free to play, but maybe not.
Maybe not because I think Black Desert you had to pay initially, and then you could just
and this is not an MMO, so I wouldn't be surprised if this is like you have to pay for it up front. It's probably gonna outsell Metroid Dread, yes, probably.
But there's a skateboard in it, so that's cool.
Yeah.
I do have big news.
What's that?
Jeff Keighley has not unfollowed me yet.
Really?
Nice.
I am shocked.
I'm a little surprised, to be honest.
Same. But hey, I'll take it.
Why did you even tagged him in the video where you said the show sucked?
I don't care.
Do you want to jump over to Halo Infinite? I figure I pulled that off of the Gamescom lineup just to go over this separately because there's a release date, there's a system, and there's a controller all wrapped in one here. So the game, it's coming out December 8th, and that's the campaign and the multiplayer combined. And that is, I think, like the last possible minute for this game to release this year. Like it is like all the way up against the back of the calendar there on December 8th. And that's also that's a Wednesday. Oh, that's weird.
Does that pass the cutoff for the Keighley Awards?
Yeah, we're gonna get to that too, because this will not be part of the Game Awards this year.
Well, that depends on when review code goes up. If reviewers have access prior to the cutoff, then they can nominate.
So what happened with Death Stranding was there was a very concerted effort at Sony to ensure that even though the game was coming out after the cutoff, to make sure that reviewers got a bunch of codes so they can nominate it. And lo and behold, that game got nominated for Game of the Year. I am expecting not the same thing to happen. I don't think they care about the Game Awards all that much. And really, they shouldn't. They should just like get the game ready and get it out when it's ready.
Yeah. December 8th, though, Wednesday. Although Psychonauts 2 came out on a Wednesday.
What's weird?
It doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter anymore. That's this whole thing. It doesn't matter anymore. Like it can come out in December, it doesn't matter. It can come out on a Wednesday, it doesn't matter because it's most people are going to get it on Game Pass and they're just going to show up one day and it's going to be on their system and just download it. Or what's going to happen is most people are going to open up an Xbox on Christmas Day and download it that day, and it's going to have like huge download numbers on Christmas Day. It's going to be successable on that front.
Christmas noobs.
Yeah,
I love Christmas noobs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'm a little disappointed that's coming out so far away from. Like I was hoping it'd be like closer.
That means we're gonna get another couple flights.
We are. So the next flight I heard we were gonna see would have to do with Big Team Battle is what they were talking about.
Yeah.
I like the sound of that because that's when everything goes wrong. So. Like that should be like ridiculous.
Yeah, that'll be
Big Team Battle. I do wonder if it's going to be 8-on-8 or if they're going to go up from there, like 12-on-12 or something. So I don't know what the max number is in this game for players. If it is like a 24-player firefight, but
that'd be kind of crazy. They'd have to make the maps really big.
Yeah, that could be fun though with a bunch of vehicles and all that. That could be a good time. 24 player.
To Scotty Pippen it up on a bigger map.
Hey, you're very good at that, Nate. We can't all be Jordan on the team.
No, I don't understand these references. Are you talking about like John Starks and Patrick Ewing?
No,
John Starks, the assist man, Patrick Ewing, the monster.
You weren't
scorer,
playing Halo
dominator
Infinite with us, so every time John and I were playing online and Max was in one of the matches,
I didn't get invited.
lighting up the enemy bots, and then all of a sudden Max would show up with like a rocket launcher and kill 3 of them, and I would just pop up with 3 assists. So I'd finish a match like 9 kills, 15 assists, and 2 deaths. So I was just out there Scottie Pipping, throwing up alley-oops to John's Jordan and Max's Dennis Rodman. So on the scoreboard, it looks like I didn't do anything, but I was a key player and vital to the victory.
Kimba Walker, Julius Randle. That was just
Randle.
Did you guys know? Did you guys know that?
I'm sorry, he was in the MVP conversations.
Oh,
Proceed.
gosh.
Did you guys know that Scottie Pippen dunked on Patrick Ewing a number of times, and also Michael Jordan dunked on PatrickEwing too,
And vice versa. Like it was it was one of the greatest battles in NBA history. But you weren't watching.
John? What's the next
I'm a
topic?
Pistons fan, so we can talk about Bill Laimbeer if you guys want.
So,
I'll be
also, I mean, we also had a console. It's the first, I guess, themed console we have for this generation now, it being a Halo Edition Series X. It's already on eBay for over $1,000 now. So
Yep, I just bought one.
Why is the MSRP $50 more? I didn't understand that.
Trying to figure yeah, because I was like, are they putting a voucher in there for the campaign part of it, the DLC that it shows up for on Steam, or is it's just themed, so they're charging more because of that?
I think they're doing it because they can. I think it's the same thing with the OLED Switch. It is. Man, I mean, it's the same thing with like the new Radeon card, the 6600 GT or XT, whatever it is. A good graphics card. It's a good graphics card. Like if you look at it at MSRP though, it looks like, wow, this is actually, you're not getting that much for your money. But in this reality where everything costs so much more, if you go in the secondhand market, they can charge more. So they're going to charge $50 more for these Steam things going forward, I think, and that they're just going to get away with it.
These systems are already selling for a lot more on eBay anyway, so they're like, give it a $550, whatever.
Well, we get that money. We should get that money instead of someone else. Like that's what they're thinking.
Yeah.
According to the chat, it comes with the game.
Oh, it does. Okay.
Yeah, you get a code for the.
So I can see that offsetting.
Yeah, why wouldn't they put in like Game Pass for like a year in there instead? Then you get Halo and you get all the other games.
That would actually be nice, but they want you to sign up and pay for.
Yeah, they want you to pay
for a year.
People already be cheating Game Pass anyway, so they're not just gonna start.
Yeah, you get it with like Snickers bars and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, they're not just gonna start handing it away because there's already all sorts of workarounds and stuff to do to get Game Pass.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna buy Halo Infinite because I'm a big Halo fan. I like to have the copy of it.
I'm gonna buy
to collect it.
Maybe the Steelbook Collector's Edition this time will actually have a disc in it.
I saw the Steelbook, so I might just grab that one. I missed the day when we had like the helmet, the Halo 3 Special Edition helmet. That was cool at the time.
That was cool
when they did that. But okay, so we got the system. We got a controller. MVG, you're on that controller.
Yeah, man, that looks really, really cool.
It's the Elite, it's a Elite Series 2, right?
Yeah, so it doesn't have the share button, unfortunately.
It's a throwback to that 360 Halo edition. They had the Halo 3 edition. It's got that same vibe about it. So
I liked it when I saw it. That's exactly what I thought of because it has kind of like the bronze orange pad spot.
I can't understand people spending $200 on a controller. That'll think of how long it took to convince me of this. You know what I'm saying?
It took a long time. It did. It took a long time to get you that Pro controller, even though it significantly made your playing experience better.
Oh yeah, I only use it now. Yeah. But still, like I don't understand what a $200 controller is going to do different. Is it going to cook me food? Is it going to give me pep talks and tell me I'm beautiful and having a good day? Like I don't get it.
It has the macro buttons on the back, which does help with Halo.
I just think it looks cool, and I want the controller.
Oh no, that's fine. I just whatever.
It's pretty straightforward. It's like if someone bought like $100 some odd jersey and then wore it on a podcast
every week.
Well, soon
and a flat bill hat.
My Kimba jersey's coming in soon.
I'm excited for that.
This is like 120.
Where's the Sonic Ice?
That's right here.
Yeah, but the Sonic Ice had
like $75 on that.
That makes sense.
No, it was $110.
How did you justify $110 for that?
Because it's a tax write-off because I wore it in a video.
I was thinking to buy a Kimbo Walker. Like, what is Kimbo?
Wouldn't the controller be a tax write-off too?
Yeah, can you hold the controller on a video and say, I'm playing Halo?
Yeah, but I'm not going to. Okay. Bronx legend, Connecticut legend from UConn, which is my college team. And then he went to the Hornets, which I lived in North Carolina, so I saw him play live many times.
I'm about a Kimbo Walker. I'm sorry, I can't.
I don't get the references.
Oh man.
Sports.
Okay. The other thing is we haven't seen any campaign footage for Halo Infinite since that. Well, whatever they said it was last year. They haven't shown it though. I thought they were going to show it there, and they just kind of walked off stage.
Joseph Staten did mention somewhere that they weren't going to show it for quite some time still. Now, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't be worried, but
I'm worried.
But they did say they weren't going to show it.
Oh, no, MVG said he's worried. No, MVG's been right this whole time. So I'm concerned now.
I don't know. It just doesn't... Something feels off to me about the campaign stuff. And I think they're trying to ship at the last possible time this year to basically get the campaign as polished as they can. And my biggest worry about this is, and I did tweet that the game should be delayed, right? But my biggest worry about this is the human side, which we always seem to forget about when these things happen. And that is, there's going to be, if the campaign comes out on December 8 and it's not good, it's in a real bad place, it needs to be patched. It's going to need to be patched immediately. And that means that potentially, and I don't speak for 343, I don't know what their schedule will be, but there may be a situation where they have to work over the holidays to get this stuff done. We saw it with Cyberpunk, last year. So hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully the campaign is in a good place, and they are holding it back so they don't want spoilers and things like that. And hopefully that's what comes out of this. But I am worried that there is no campaign footage yet.
I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt because we're still, granted it's almost September, but if this game isn't releasing till December 5th, I think it's more along the lines of they don't want spoilers and stuff out there. Now, if, we're in the second week of October, then yeah, things definitely look spooky. But I think Microsoft will show something in September from the campaign, and then it'll just be water under the bridge.
Hopefully. Yeah, hopefully.
It is interesting. Like, they really want this campaign out this year when realistically, they probably wouldn't have to put it out there this year. They could run a quote unquote beta for the multiplayer for like 6 months and then be like, oh, yep, now the campaign's coming out with co-op and Forge and all that all at once. It'll be this big release on the Game Pass and a disc in the stores and everything. I feel like 80% of Halo fans would be okay getting a multiplayer beta for the next few months as they worked on campaign just to get it out after the holidays in 2022. It's just such a late release that it feels like they are like up against it, like you're saying, MVG, for December 8th. Usually games don't fall into December like that. So also it's the day after Dying Light 2. That's messed up.
Is that game still
Dying Light 2?
Is that game still are they going to delay that, or is that game still
I think it's actually going to make it.
Yeah.
They've sent me a bunch of like PR things like in the mail, where it's like, hey, we're gonna have something to talk about on this day, and it's like, oh, you must be certain if you are like physically sending me postcards about this.
They just ran a
stuff.
trailer at Gamescom again with Microsoft, like for Dying Light 2. That's hot, like December 7th. So, I'm surprised too. I thought when I hear December release date like months ago, I start to think, okay, that's like in a good spot where they could just be like, you know what, it's coming out 3 months later. It's going to be in February or something like that. I think they're trying to get it out. So there you go. But yeah,
I do just want to see it. I don't know what this game is. Like, what are they changing? What is this Halo Infinite? Like, is the campaign like Far Cry? Are they going for something even more ambitious than that? I'm kind of lost at this point. I just want to see it, and then I'll judge. I'm with RGT in terms of benefit of the doubt, at least for another few months.
He's explained it a few times. Joe Staten has where he's trying to describe it as best he can, but it's weird because in Halo you're used to having just these basically levels. You just go through a level and like that's it, right?
It's not that though.
No, it's a semi-open world that he's trying to describe, and it's difficult for everyone to picture.
Well, they showed like the one clip of the campaign they showed from this E3 was that brief helicopter shot over what looks like that open world, and it's like you can begin to imagine like possibilities in there, and I'm like kind of almost getting my hopes up at this point where I'm like, hey, maybe they're gonna throw a Breath of the Wild Halo at us, where it's like it is something so fresh and new that it feels like a really incredible experience, but like we haven't seen anything, so I'm definitely just kind of setting myself up for disappointment there. But
the campaign has to be a $60 campaign because the multiplayer is free.
Yes.
So the campaign has to stand on its own, and Halo's always had the benefit of having multiplayer with it. So and now we hear about the multiplayer. Apparently, you don't get experience just from playing the matches. You have to do challenges.
Yeah.
No, is anyone like that? Like, even I'm like,
no.
Why? Like
the Skinner box works. Just always do the Skinner box. It really does.
I heard about that. So what's going on? Like the XP's tied not to like match, like when you get XP for matches now, it's like tied to like.
when we played in the flight, you would get challenges, right? And sometimes you would run out. Like I ran out of challenges in the flight, but they said that was a glitch and it's not supposed to. But you get challenges and it'll just tell you random things. And a lot of times, from what I was seeing, it's like kill 20 people or something in Team Slayer, and that's pretty straightforward. You're going to do that anyway. And then you get the challenge completes, and then you get a lump of experience, or you get you have one challenge done out of 5 to get to the next level or something like that. The concern is you're going to start getting challenges that are like, okay, get 5 headshots with a sniper rifle, or get 5 kills with a dealer.
Kill 3 people by running them over with a vehicle.
Yeah, and you're like, that's not my play style. I don't want to do that. Now, in the flight, you could basically just get rid of a challenge and pick the next one, but then everyone would just keep doing that over and over until they get the kill 20 people in Slayer, or something like that. So it seems weird because in Master Chief Collection, you win a match and you get some experience, and a little bar starts to fill up, and that's it. And then you get currency. Yeah, you get currency, and then you use that for cosmetics. That's it. So I don't really know why they're going this. No one really wants them to go this route. So the one thing about 343, though, based on what they did with Master Chief Collection, they might actually change this if enough people tell them they want it changed.
Yeah.
So that's my hope.
I don't think this is long for this world. I think they'll launch with this probably, and then a few months later they'll have XP.
If they like the system, they can just do the basic XP after mission, and then you get boosted XP for achieving the goals anyway. I mean, that's really the best way to go about it.
Yeah, because like the levels that they have in Master Chief Collection, when you fill up a bar, doesn't really matter that much. You just get these little symbols that keep changing, and they give you currency, and you buy stuff with, and that's it. And I feel like that's better for people anyway, because they feel like they're doing something, they're leveling up, when it really doesn't matter that much. It's just weird that they are going in this different direction when like the old way just works. So I don't know. It's strange. But December 8th, I guess we're all gonna be playing Halo Infinite. So hopefully it releases all right. Specifically the campaign, because the multiplayer seems good. We'll have already played that probably 3 or 4 times by then. Sean, you gotta get signed up.
For what?
Halo
the beta?
Yeah.
How do I get? I'll DM Jeff. I'll be like, look, fucker, give me some Halo hookups.
It's easy. You just go to the site and you sign up.
Yeah.
I still haven't done it yet.
It takes a couple minutes. Yeah, it's easy. They just let you in, and then everyone can play.
All right, I gotta do it. I gotta remember.
Cool. Yeah, you guys all gotta do it. It was fun. We had some fun with it. Me, Nate, and Max. It was a good time.
It's not PC, right? I can play it on my console.
They're gonna ask you. They're gonna ask you which one you want to sign up for. So depending on what the flight happens, they'll give you the key.
I played it on my PC and I played it on my Xbox. I got into both.
Okay.
What'd you like more?
The Xbox.
Why?
It ran better on the Xbox. PC had some weird issues with drivers and stuff, to where it felt like I was underwater, but then on like the Xbox, it just gave me 120 frames. So it was just a bit easier to set up, and that's beta. It'll probably be much better when the full release comes out and they have all their driver stuff figured out with NVIDIA and AMD.
Yeah, there was no optimization really done on that build, so yeah, not indicative.
Yeah. Evan, we got Discord questions over there.
It's for MVG. Any possibility of cross-platform save with Quake Remastered?
Ooh, I don't think so.
Oh.
I am being honest. It's not something that's on the roadmap.
Fuck you for asking.
Real quick, MVG. How difficult is cross save? Is that a very difficult thing to implement?
Yes, it is, because each platform holder has a different way of saving games. Also, there's encryption and all sorts of weird and wacky things involved. So yes, it's fairly complicated. I mean, it's doable, and there are some companies that do it, but there's some effort that's required.
I'm gonna go.
What does Nintendo do? Like, do they save to like jazz drives or something? Like jazz discs?
With their
I think they're still on
hands.
zip disks. I don't think they've upgraded to jazz drives yet.
Yeah, right. Too advanced.
Let's go over to Super Chat, then we'll talk about some Psychonauts too. We got Cristobal says Splitgate / Halo Ortal is arguably better than Halo Infinite. Has anyone from Spawncast played Dodgeball Academia? If so, how is it? Played a little bit of Dodgeball Academia. That's another one that's on Game Pass, by the way, Jordan. You should check that out. It's an RPG dodgeball game. It's very interesting. It has like the kind of the career mode from the old Mario Golf style games. I played a bit of it, not too much more than a couple hours, but it was kind of interesting. I don't know. It's different. It's a different kind of game. So I do like when people get creative with their stuff. And it's on Game Pass, so you can just check it out. DPX says, as a big fan of the first Psychonauts game, Psychonauts 2 is a 10 out of 10 for me personally, as it improves on the first one in every way. Liam says, do you think a Microsoft Nintendo collab is still happening this year after Phil deconfirmed Game Pass on Switch and the shelf switch meaning something else? Good question.
Nathaniel?
Go on, Nate. Let's hear it.
Question.
Oh, do you think the Microsoft Nintendo collab is still happening after Phil Spencer deconfirmed Game Pass and then said the shelf switch doesn't mean much?
I mean, they've been in talks for many months. I mean, we can look back for like public information. You can look to the redacted Epic files where Nintendo made sure to redact every single conversation they've had with Microsoft, and they sought out, the reason as ongoing negotiation.
Maybe
So
Psychonauts
they
2
are
is on
having
the Switch.
conversations of some kind, whether it is to bring titles over, whether it is something as simple as Azure servers. It can be any number of things. Just because Nintendo and Microsoft may be in discussions, it doesn't necessarily have to mean that we, the consumer, are going to be excited about what's going on. It can be behind the scenes stuff.
Maybe they were sexting and Nintendo didn't want to get caught.
Maybe.
Truly Epic says, what's everyone's opinion on video game walkthroughs? When I was playing 12 minutes, I was so stressed trying to figure out what to do until I gave in.
Nothing wrong with it. If you want to look at a walkthrough, go
Back
look.
in the day, people used to buy a strategy guide with like their PlayStation 1 or the Nintendo 64 game. So it was very common to have a walkthrough at that time.
I remember when I bought Oblivion for the 360, I got like a phone book like this.
Yeah, that was massive. I remember that
Quest and everything.
Or even like Pokemon, like you'd get so all the different things if you got
because
stuck.
you flip to the back, you had like all these charts and stuff, and like you go to school, you're like, I don't want to do any of this math stuff. Then you get Pokemon, and you're like, wow, look at all these tables. This is awesome. Like,
MBG, was that like a third-party book? Because I'm like interested to now to find out what was the largest third-party guide ever published.
Skyrim was pretty big too, wasn't it?
I think I still have both Skyrim and Oblivion, Jeff. So I'll dig it up. I think it's one of those Prima guides, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, and then shoot me the name of the author because I almost kind of want to just interview him because that'd be cool. Thank you.
Kingdoms of Malamar is pretty big. That book.
Fuck that.
Okay,
game.
yeah, look at that too. But yeah,
game that tanked Rhode Island.
I still think one of my favorite.
Rhode Island. At least it destroyed Kurt Schilling.
Still think one of my favorite guides was for the newer Mortal Kombat game, and then they patched it day one, and like half the shit in that guide didn't work anymore. It was great.
Yes.
Derek says RGT will be the new TNT champion. Put Miro through a table.
Yes, I got a match next Sunday.
Nice. I Live for Retro says EA should have put Madden on Switch before mobile devices. They're missing out on a huge audience. I don't really. Do people care about Madden this year? I don't see anybody talking about Madden.
Madden's terrible.
It's terrible this year. Yes.
It got like 6s and 7s from the big websites. That's how you know it's bad.
From the people who always play Madden at the big websites, like Kat over at IGN. She was like, "This is rough." So
no,
it's bad. It was bad last year. It's bad this year, and it's always going to be, for the most part, bad.
Sounds like the No More Hero 3 of football.
It's No More Heroes 3 is way better. No More Heroes 3 way better than Madden.
That gameplay is actually fun. They're making the golf game and they're making NCAA football now, so they're going to get even busier. They're going to have less time for Madden, so probably not going to get much better.
Hey, if only there was competition in the football.
Well, we can't have that.
Yeah.
Did you guys see like the disappearing ball? Like somebody went for an interception, the ball just slid across his body, then like went right through him, and the guy picked it off. And the guy's like,
"Was that the Lions playing? Because if it's the Lions, that's just normal.
That's realistic.
Like it's not even real. I was a football. It's not even real football. I watched the whole game. It's like it's so jank. It's not even like actual football. It's like they're going backwards with the actual like realistic football.
I saw a clip where I think it was the Ravens. They went to hike and the ball was just stuck in the air, and all the tacklers were attacking the center because the game didn't register that they actually like handed the ball off, and they just were swarming around the center who was stuck, bent over for like 25 seconds.
This is from X Trash Lost to PlayStation.
Love him.
So, Nate lied about pre-E3 Switch Pro. Grifter.
Son of a bitch. Nate Mochizuki, we're on to you, buddy.
Yeah, well, me, Nikkei, Mochi, we all gather every weekend and we have shots and we laugh at you. Xbox Trash Panda, whatever the fucking name is.
They have X Trash has a follow-up here saying Jeff Grubb lied about Starfield. Stop ducking me.
I'll do it again.
You did though.
Do it again.
Play says, I'm excited that my WWE All-Stars fight stick comes in a couple days, and all of you are great. All right. Cyber says, great to see Jeff Grubb. RGT, congratulations on the house, and MVG, congratulations on Quake. Loving every minute of it. Bring back lots of memories. There we go. Radberry says, I was able to get an Xbox Series X back in June, and I'm normally a big physical game collector, but with Game Pass, I realized how great it actually is. Monroe says, Jordan, what was your best pulls? I got 3 Alt Arts Umbreon V, Glaceon V, and Duraludon V Max. What happened to Pokemon? Also got Sacred Rainbow Rare Umbreon V Max.
Hey, those are some crazy pulls. I haven't opened a lot of the new set, but I pulled a very good card in my some of the packs I've opened. I got the Rainbow Rayquaza. No Alt Arts yet, so.
Steven says, I got a Saturn for cheap. Any recommendation on what to do with it since games are so expensive and hard to find?
Save up and get, yeah. No, you go, because you know the names.
I was going to say, get the Action Replay cartridge and then just buy like Japanese games because they're a lot cheaper. But if you don't want to, if you just want to like play burnt games or whatever, get the, what's that thing called? The SD card thing. You just basically install SD card.
Yeah, what is that called? It's like the PlayStation has the X Station.
Stupid Joe did a video on it from GameSack.
I have one, but I can't remember what it's called. But it's really good. You can just load up everything on an SD card.
That's what I would do.
But if you wanna just go the cheaper option and don't want to spend the $200, just get an Action Replay and buy Japanese games because they're a lot cheaper. They are going up in price, but they're way cheaper than the North American ones.
The Satiator is
the Satiator. That's it.
Yeah, but I think that thing is like, because after Joe's video, I was like, well, fuck, I need to buy this. And like it's like on super back order, and they're like, well, maybe email mail when we get some more in.
They're saying Terra Onion mode.
Oh yeah, the mode. Yeah, there's 3 different options, and they're all pretty pricey, but I think you can still find them.
Yeah, but if you think about like it's pricey compared to like the same price for a single Saturn game, it's like
no, it's really not.
Yeah,
really. Let's go to Psychonauts 2. Let's talk Psychonauts 2. Okay, who got a chance to play Psychonauts 2? I played it. Sean played it. MVG played it. Evan played it. Jeff played it. Okay, cool. And Nate played it. Nate, you're raising your hand, right?
Yes.
All right, cool. Thanks for participating. All right. So what's everyone think about Psychonauts 2 then? Because it came out Wednesday, like I said, kind of a weird time for it to release. Dropped on Game Pass, PC, Xbox, or you can pick it up on the PlayStation as well.
Freaking love it. It's awesome.
It's a good game. It needs to be in Game of the Year contention.
Okay,
and
good.
People have been. It's so funny when I said that like a week ago, people were like, but now like the narrative is sort of changing on Twitter, and now it's okay to say that. And I'm like, come the fuck on, people.
Every game is like that this year, though. Every game is like one way or the other. They start mad and then they get nice about it. Or they start nice and they get mad about it, whatever. But yeah, I've been loving it. That's what I've been playing all day today. It's really good. It's inventive. You feel like they had a ton of ideas, and then you also feel like they had the money, time, and maybe some like extra help from Microsoft with just like manpower or whatever, person power to actually get it through and get those ideas executed on.
Because they originally delayed it, and I have a feeling it's because Microsoft was like, yeah, okay.
They said they gave them like, they gave them the bag to buy the company, but then they're like, here is a bunch of extra money to make sure that you can like take this game to the next level. And because this was a Fig crowdfunded game.
It was a crowdfunded game. That's the crazy thing. You look at it, you're like, wow, really?
But no, it got that extra sauce on top, and you see it everywhere you look in the game. Though it feels good to play. The voice acting is fantastic. The writing, you know that they're on like the 12th draft of every joke, because that's how solid the comedic timing is on everything. And then the ideas are just thrown visually throughout every level. Like they just spent so much time on this game, and it just looks really good too. So the art style is solid, but then they just continue to make it look better and better with graphical effects and everything else. I'm just really in love with this game.
Yep.
Is there no physical version, guys?
No.
There is not.
They are shipping physical versions to Fig backers, so I imagine that's going to happen.
You think they're going to have some hit stores?
Yeah, I think they probably will at some point.
Okay. Yeah, because I know, because it's crowdfunded. I thought there was a physical tier that you could buy for that. Okay,
but right now you can't like walk into a store and buy it.
Oh, okay. Because I was trying to buy it, but I was like, where's it at?
Yeah, I grabbed it on Game Pass to start playing it. I thought about it, like, if they ever do a physical copy, maybe I'll pick one up, because it's.
I would.
It is legitimately like I was like, all right, like, the first Psychonauts was fun. I'll check this out. This could be like a fun little game to pick up. But I mean, this is like on the level of like Nintendo like Mario 3D platformers. Like, it is that good.
I agree.
Here's the question. Oh no, you go MVG.
Well, I was just gonna say I forgot how amazing Tim Schafer is with games.
So good.
He's so fucking good. Like, I remember playing Full Throttle, right? I love that game. I remember playing Grim Fandango. I love the hell out of that game. The first Psychonauts was fantastic. This is just so much fun to play, and it's just, I think it's a real breath of fresh air that this game came out when it did. So I'm a big fan of this game. I definitely think it should be in the conversation for Game of the Year this year. No doubt.
Yeah, I'd agree. Yep.
We got to ask the question though. Psychonauts or Ratchet and Clank?
Oh man.
Do you think there's only room for one?
No, but if you had to pick one.
If I had to pick one right now, being where I'm at, I am still personally Ratchet and Clank because it was just a nonstop thrill ride for me, and it really, like, I couldn't put that down over the 2 days that I played it, like really a day and a half. I got the code early, sat down, played it, and I'm like, Mike, I got to do the review for this because I just love it so much. But as I continue to play Psychonauts 2, though, it started high, but it's like, okay, I'm getting into this. Every single level so far has been better than the last, and I think that's why people are saying it's in the Game of the Year contention, because it just keeps getting better, and most games don't do that. Ratchet Clank started high, stayed pretty high, and by the end I'm like, okay, I'm ready for this 5-6 hour thing to be over, and I'll put it down or whatever. This one's apparently it's going to maintain this high level and go even higher over 10 to 12 hours. If it can do that for me, maybe we'll see. Maybe I'll flip, but right now I'm still Ratchet.
So
I kind of view it as like Ratchet and Clank is like a Pixar movie, whereas Psychonauts is kind of like a Tim Burton movie. Mm-hmm. And I feel like Ratchet and Clank has the big flair with the presentation and the graphics and things like that. But for me personally, I'm having way more fun with Psychonauts 2. I think the story is better. I think the writing is better. I think the characters are more interesting. I like the combat in the game too. I like how you're constantly getting new abilities and you're upgrading these abilities that also give you more abilities. It's not just, guns or melee or things like that. I really think Psychonauts 2 is a Game of the Year contender. And like, if I had to pick, I would pick Psychonauts 2 over Ratchet and Clank.
I think right now I'm with you on that, Sean, because I was thinking about it as I'm playing through Psychonauts 2. I'm getting further and further into this game, and you're right. It keeps getting more interesting. The characters are better than what Ratchet and Clank has. The story, I think, is significantly better, especially with the themes that they deal with in Psychonauts. Like, that game gets really dark sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Like, you're playing it, and you're like there are some moments, because I don't want to spoil it, but like at the end of certain parts of the worlds where like the characters don't even say anything and they have like the facial expressions, and you're just kind of quiet, like, sitting there in front of the TV, and you're like, oh, that was kind of rough. And I never got that feeling with Ratchet and Clank. Ratchet and Clank, the story was pretty straightforward. You're just going through, you're just blast.
It's that Pixar movie, That
was fine. Like, I think the combat and action is better in Ratchet and Clank, but I think the platforming, the story, the characters, everything else is better in Psychonauts 2. Visually, Ratchet and Clank is next level, obviously.
I would give the edge to Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart right now, because Psychonauts 2, it's charming. The writing is very engaging. It has that classic old school feel to it that makes it really appealing. But and it can be, these are things that can be fixed. Overall, though, aspects of the game feel really unpolished. The combat is clunky, and
What?
Yes.
I don't think
there's not that much combat though. Like, the combat, it's like you do combat for like a minute at a. Okay, I'm not going to interrupt Nate. You keep going.
But the sequences where there are the combat, it does feel clunky. Especially like, I just did a boss battle, like the cooking one. The battle itself was kind of drawn out.
Yeah, that wasn't a great fight.
Far too long, and it's so reliant on the. What is it? The grab mechanic. What do they call it in the game? Psychic grab.
The telekinesis. You have to pull things up.
Yeah, the telekinesis. It really isn't that reliable. It doesn't feel like it has good feedback as to when you're actually on target to grab something. It feels slow. It feels janky. Like everything else, I mean, it's very well done. It's just the combat feels clunky when you are in those segments. And I mean, that's something that they can fix with a patch. They can smooth out some of this by adjusting whether it's momentum or anything like that. And some of the performance is a little weird. I had some pop-in, which I wasn't expecting on the Series X. I'm walking through the woods and all of a sudden grass is just popping in right in front of me.
In the woods, I had pop-in too, yeah.
Yeah, it's like the mystery. What's that area called?
Questionable area.
Questionable area.
Some of the bushes pop in after like a certain distance.
And I was like, okay, that was unexpected. So there's a little inconsistency but I would say the visuals, like Raz's character model in the one-on-one sequences when they're talking, which almost looks like a cinematic, looks great. But then all of a sudden, he's talking to another character in game, and all the texture work on his face is just gone. He looks he looks flat.
You playing on that VCR again?
I'm playing this on the Series
Come
X.
on.
Series X.
You got that set to 120 frames?
No, I don't have a 120 frame TV. So it just, I mean, Evan has seen similar things, so it's not just me.
Could be drunk though when you're playing it.
You know, I'm looking as an outsider from this game, and I just watched a bunch of it right now. Like, it looks really cool. Like, I want to buy it, but I want to buy a physical copy.
Yeah, there are parts that are cool.
Yeah, it looks super fun. Like, the platforming looks really cool. Like, the art style is also very unique.
It's different.
Very interesting. Yeah, very different and unique art style. I mean, I still see Ratchet and Clank probably just getting the nod if there was to pick one, just because of the graphics and how people think, you know. But this is really impressive because this wasn't on my radar at all. I played the first Psychonauts a little bit, but I never was really into it. This is a good platformer. So anyone who likes 3D platformers, you got to check it out. Like, it's on that kind of level. I understand what you're saying. I'd say the combat would be average is how I'd look at it, like passable. But I mean, it really shines with the 3D platforming and the puzzles that they have in the game.
But other aspects of the game are great. I mean, the writing, the actual environments that you go through, the characters you interact with, that's all top quality. And like I said, the stuff I'm highlighting is, you know, it's nitpicky to say, yeah, the combat really isn't that great. There is some technical unpolishing with the pop in and such, but I mean, they are there. They are something that you're experiencing while you're playing the game.
The art style changes in this game are insane. It's like,
whoa, that's nuts. Will flip entirely from what they were to something else, and the way that they play on that stuff is so.
The worlds are very interesting.
It's something they focused on in the first game, and they definitely kept it for this one.
Yes,
even better. But now it's even better though because of the technical capabilities.
Dude, the first world. I swear, everybody here looked at that first world, and you were trying to figure out if it was disgusting or not, right?
Oh yes, yeah. No, it was disgusting.
The dentist world, because I was at first, I was like, that's kind of cool. I'm like, is that disgusting? I'm not sure.
Yes,
because the zipper with the teeth, and I'm like,
wall. Yeah, absolutely horrifying. Yeah,
you go across the bridge of it. It's all falling apart.
Yeah.
It does have a warning in the beginning about dental phobia. Yeah. But I mean, OJ, I think you would like it a lot, dude. It has some really cool worlds to it, and the platforming is like top notch.
I tried to buy it, but I couldn't. I tried to buy it, but I could not buy the game. I can't buy it. It's not available for me to buy. And what would be a logical way to buy a game?
I think it's going to be in the conversation at the end of the year, though. Either way, as people talk about game of the year, some may even view this. It's weird because it's from Microsoft, but some may view it as like that indie game that gets in, kinda, because it was mostly developed without Microsoft, and then of course they came in and they're like, "Oh, we'll give you some extra time and money to get to the finish line." So it might be viewed as like that Hades game that gets in, kinda.
Do you think that this helps with that Game Pass game fodder narrative? That, I mean, you know.
Well, this and Deathloop, those Deathloop reviews this week, like, I know Deathloop is on PlayStation, but it's being made by a Microsoft studio. So when you look to the future, like, man, if this year, if they could have got Psychonauts 2 to be exclusive and Deathloop to be exclusive, and there was another like multi-platform game they released a little bit ago, it's in my mind, that did pretty well. But if all those were exclusive, like, hey, Game Pass is doing pretty well. But since they are exclusive to other platforms or not exclusive right now, it's hard to count them. But if you sort of just like look at it from a little bit further back, it's like, okay, Microsoft's in a pretty good position for Game Pass to have some pretty solid stuff, at least from their first party studios going forward.
Jeff, that's exactly why the price is going to go up, because this is starting to get. We talked about this.
It's going to go up eventually, but not anytime soon. Not in the next 2 years.
I think it's going to go up in the. I think it's going to be because you can't be Psychonauts, Forza, Halo. You're gonna get the Avowed. It's gonna like Perfect Dark. Like, the games are gonna start coming.
That's not how they look at it. That's not how they look. Well, I mean, yes, if the games start coming to the point where they suddenly have 50 million subscribers, the price might go up. But it's gonna take a lot of work for them to get to 50 million subscribers. They are not close to that yet. So they are much more worried about acquiring users than they are about acquiring profits from Game Pass right now.
It's getting kind of nuts though that they're just like. This is getting kind of nuts, though, right? Wouldn't you guys agree that it's getting kind of like, whoa, like?
You know what I'd do, OJ?
2023 is gonna be bonkers.
I'd cash in one of those Snickers bar for like a week on Game Pass and just download Psychonauts 2 there.
I've got a bunch of them. I've got
cash it in.
Pop Tarts, old ones.
There you go.
I can use
cash
my Pop Tart ones. Yeah.
Just cash it in for a week. Check out Psychonauts 2 and see what you think from there. And then whenever they make it physically, pick it up if you really liked it.
Okay, that's what I'll
That's what I would do. Yeah, cash it in. So
great.
The thing that's really interesting about this now is like Double Fine can make some games over there, and I wonder what their next project would be. They said they want to do a new game. I saw some people calling for them to make Banjo-Kazooie.
No,
I don't think I think they're going to look to do their. I mean, they have so much creativity. I don't think they're going to do another Psychonauts for a while. I think they're going to go do the
Brutal Legend 2.
That would be cool.
Brutal Legend.
That would be fun. I mean,
I love that game. The first one.
Yeah, I like that game a lot too, actually, which was really funny at the time. But I kind of feel like they're just going to go make their own IP, like a brand new game.
Yes.
But
think maybe they'll make another. Maybe they'll just say, "Hey, we can even do a better Psychonauts and just make Psychonauts 3."
I feel like they'll do that eventually, maybe on the next Xbox or something. But like, they had mentioned they wanted to try doing a new game. And if you think about it, if Microsoft is like, "Yeah, go make whatever you want. Don't really worry too much about budgets," they probably got some good ideas. And I mean, you see what they did with Psychonauts 2. They could legitimately come up with like that quote unquote AAA game of the year style game one year with and they might become a multi-project studio too. Then might do another game like next to it. They could start preliminary coming up with like Psychonauts 3 while they work on another IP. So that's the most exciting part about this. Psychonauts 2 comes out, gets rave reviews, is very, very good. Where does Double Fine go from here, and what do they do with that kind of backing? So that's exciting stuff. Yes, everyone should play Psychonauts 2 because we're going to be talking about it at the end of the year, I'm sure. And play Death's Door. Play that one as well.
Oh, I wanted to mention, Mike sent me a fan, Mike. He sent me a code for Death's Door, so I wanted to shout out him and say thank you very much, because I was talking about last week. So I got a code from him, so appreciate the code for that. Thank you.
It's good. Death's Door. I mean, how long was that? Because I finished it. How was it, like 10 hours? It'd been like 10 hours. It was a good game, MVG. I think you'll like it.
I can't wait to play it.
Yeah. So definitely everyone check out Psychonauts 2. It's out now and available on the Xbox, PC, and PlayStation. Evan, we got a Discord question over there.
We got one for RGT. We got a wrestling fan who wants to start watching and getting into AEW. What is the best and most efficient way to get caught up?
Are you Wood? Because I've been the past 2 days. That's all he's been talking to me about is AEW. Okay, I want to get into it. How do I watch it? Where do I watch it? Honestly, the best way is just to sort of jump in to watching it on TNT. You can check out their YouTube channel. They have a ton of videos on there. They actually have 2 YouTube specific shows, and they have 2 shows that appear on TNT Wednesdays at 8 from 8 to 10, and then Friday at 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Just jump in. You'll get quickly caught up. It's pretty easy to follow.
Okay. Yeah, another Discord question, Evan?
We got a guy about to redo his office/game room. He's wondering if we could recommend him a chair that would be good for multiple uses across that whole thing. Herman Miller is usually a good brand.
I mean, Herman Miller is the really expensive one that everyone goes with. But if you want to go with the cool race car chair, there's like Secret Labs.
There's like 100 companies who found the people that make that chair and just put their name on it and send it out to you.
The Ewing chair.
Yeah.
But who I have Secret Lab. Ewan. Yeah, Ewan, whatever the fuck they're called. Thanks for the free
OJ, what do you got? What do you got over there?
Secret Lab. I think this is the best. I've had a bunch of different chairs, and this is by far the best chair, the Secret Lab chair, and it looks great too.
Secret Labs is good.
Yeah,
Jeff, what's that you got over there? You got the Steve Rogers chair?
Steve Rogers sent me this. Yeah, it's Captain America there. Yeah. It's actually
AK Racing
is what it is.
What's yours say, Jordan?
It says AK Racing.
AK Racing. Okay. Wait, what's MVG got over there?
I got DX Racer. I've had this chair since like 2016.
Might be time for that Miller.
Does your back not hurt?
I'm ready to upgrade, man. Yeah, I'm ready for a new chair.
What do you got? What do you got over there, Nate?
I have an office chair that I took from a construction site when the job was shutting down.
That's right. I remember him talking about this before.
So it's what the super would sit in when they sat at their desk. That's
just a piece of wood and a couple cinder blocks.
I mean, to be fair, the chair I used before this was found at a dump. My boss at my day job was like, "Hey, there's a nice chair here. Do you want it?" I was like, "Yeah, pick it up." So he gave that to me, and then the only reason I have this is because the company sent it to me. I would never buy a thing like that.
This is from Radberry. What is the story behind everyone coming up with their channel names?
my name.
It is Jordan. Yeah, that's true. It's just Jordan Fringe.
Long to say. I don't feel like saying the whole story.
I can do my Jeff Grubb's Game Mess because it rhymes with Game Fest, and I was just trying to do a play off of Jeff Keighley because I for some reason I always think I'm in a rivalry with him, and he doesn't know who I am. So, but yeah, so I'm like Jeff Grubb's Game Mess, and it worked. The branding stuck.
We know RGT.
Yep.
What is it, Sean?
Originally the channel was called Retro Gaming News 85, and then I was like, I don't like that. I'm gonna make it Retro Gaming Tube 85, and then all my friends were like, that's a horrible name. It's way too long. You can't do anything with it. And I was like, no, it's fine. And then like 6 months into the gig, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna change it
To RGT.
Yep.
And Nate the Hate is just. Well,
my name is Nate Von Hate. And I wanted to make it a little more simple for English speakers, so I changed Von to the.
It's the original pronunciation is Von Hotte, but
yeah, exactly. I wanted to make it simple for people,
Yeah,
Sideshow Bob at the Bart.
The Bart.
And MVG is just modern.
Yeah, I mean,
I thought it was MV Gamer.
Well, that's Andy Robertson at what's the website?
Yeah, that shit confuses me.
Video Game Chronicles.
Video Game Chronicles. Yeah, the MV Gamer. Yep.
This is from
Swag Up.
Sad Brad saying, "Watch Halo Infinite pull a Bioshock Infinite and introduce alternate realities into the lore to retcon Halo 5." Swift X Miles says, "Happy to see Metroid Dread getting some marketing and hype. Let's pray that Eternal Darkness can get another lease on life."
Nope.
Yeah.
Praying for a while on that one.
Bring it back, Nintendo.
Eternal Dark. Comparing those two franchises, it's not even a franchise. Eternal Darkness is one game.
Jay Stud says, "Some watch or read news in the AM. I drink coffee and watch Spawn to start work days. Congrats MVG on Quake. It's great. And long live Trent Reznor. Welcome, Jeff, and love all of you guys. John, best wise to play after my best ease game to play after my first Origin.
8.
Yeah, I liked 8. 8 was good. 9's good too, though.
I haven't played 9 yet.
Recent. That one's actually pretty good.
8's OD, man. You got to go with 8.
Don't play 9 on the Switch.
Yeah, 9 on the Switch looks terrible.
I played it on the PS5. It was fine there.
It renders and plays.
It also came out It also came out like a while ago on the PS5 when I played it. So I don't know if they've patched it more since then or not. Vision says, "Seeing people complain about Nintendo protect their IP is headache-inducing. Why does Nintendo get so much hate when every company protects their IP?"
No, it's not. That's not how it works. No, because you could make like a fan film for Star Wars. Because people conflate this all the time. Like they have to protect it, or else they'll lose the copyright. You're thinking of trademark law. Copyright's so locked down that Disney's going to own Mickey Mouse for 5,000 years or whatever. It's not the same thing. Nintendo could choose to be more lenient on this and be just fine legally. They just don't.
Yeah, it's not the same. I mean, they even had like the whole Smash Brothers thing again. With another fan.
I saw that was like something Nintendo Smash was trending or something on Twitter.
Yeah, it's just now more people don't care after what happened with Smash. Now people are just like, well, who cares about you guys anyway?
It's
so
true.
so it's not picking up more steam as it did the last time. But this time there was like, oh, the Smash community, well, screw them. So it's just not getting as much heat. So
Penn says MVG might have some insight in this, but I think Grasshopper shoot themselves in the foot by going with Unreal Engine 4 on Switch. They're a small studio. There's no way they could have the technical knowledge to pull it off.
It's hard for me to comment on that. I mean, obviously, Unreal Engine is a beast in general, and running on the Switch may have issues. They came up against issues, but I mean, I also believe that if you put that engine in the right hands and you have the appropriate budget, then you can make some really good shit. So I can't really speak on that, unfortunately, because I mean, I don't know.
That's what they used Unreal Engine when they did Travis Strikes Again, so they had time to get used to this engine and become accustomed to what they want to do with No More Heroes 3. So if you want to make Travis Strikes Again No More Heroes and you had engine trouble then you should know how to, adjust your expectations when you're making this full-on sequel. If you still go into it and you still get a bad result like 360p in handheld mode, that's not the fault of the engine. It's not even the fault of the studio. It's you either bit off more than you could chew and you oversold your skill set, or you're making a game far too ambitious for the hardware that you're using, and you're using an engine that is power hungry, and you didn't know how to scale things properly. So maybe some fall can come to the engine and some fall to the developer. But I mean, this was a decision that they made. They knew what the engine is capable of. They had worked on it on this particular hardware before, but Unreal Engine 4 also just has problems on the Switch in general. You can look at Nintendo's own in-house games. Yoshi also runs sub-native, and it needed to get patched to clean up some of the performance issues. So it's just that Unreal Engine 4 is a little more than the Switch can truly handle to get quality results. Yes, there are projects like Octopath that produce nice visuals, or even Dragon Ball FighterZ, but it's still, the engine needs proper optimization. It needs proper time and investment. And I mean, Grasshopper knew what they were getting themselves into with this project and going with Unreal Engine 4.
They just bit off more than they can chew. That's really what it comes down to. They tried to make a much bigger game for the 60 than they can even do. Like if they would have just, like we talked about, just shortened it down, like made it just stand and destroy. But Suda likes to play into what the fans say. He said the reason why they did that in terms of like the open world and all that, bringing that stuff back, was because fans really wanted it back. You know?
Way to go, OJ. It's your fault.
I never said I like No More Heroes 2 the most.
That's actually
I like
what
No More Heroes 2 the most.
Jotaku says No More Heroes 3 should have been more like 2, less on the open world, more on the good parts.
Yeah, like but a lot of fans, and the thing, here's the funny thing, I've been looking to see what the fans say, and once again, it's that like a lot of the core fans are just, we don't care how it looks great, it plays just fine, we're having fun. So people are actually having fun with though. I know we don't like it as much, but people are actually enjoying the open world. A lot of the hardcore No More Heroes fans are actually enjoying what they did with it. So
cocaine is a hell of a drug.
I'm just saying, like, heck, even if you go on the Nintendo YouTube channel and look at what people are saying there, and go and look at what people are saying in some of the comment section, like I said, it's just like what I see. It's not everybody, but I'm just saying, it seems like a lot of people are enjoying those aspects of it, because the first game, they enjoyed that, and that was crap. You know, it was worse. So, and people enjoyed that, and we just played that, right? It came on the Switch, so we did play that again, and it's just as bad as it was on the Wii, but it moves at a bit better frame rate. But yeah,
it's from, then we have Glenmore Legister. Then we have Alexian says, I haven't played No More Heroes, but the reception of 3 seems better than Travis Strikes Again, which is good to me. Then Patrick says, what are you guys expecting from the Persona 25th anniversary event? I'm hoping for Persona 1 through 3 on PC, as well as a port of Persona 4 Arena. That would be Sega and Atlas. So I would expect nothing and be surprised if something happens.
I've done multiple videos on this, and I think that, first of all, when you're asking for too much, Arena, no. But second of all, I think they're going to do Persona 4 Golden. I think that's going to be the game that we can kind of lock in. I think that's going to get ported to other systems. So I'd say
my expectation is a wallpaper for our phones.
No.
They'll come out and just stub their toe and then end the stream early, and that's actually
Persona 4 Golden, minimum. Persona 4 Golden, PS4, and Switch.
But isn't with this event, it's Atlas said it's like a year.
Yeah,
so everything they're announcing next month isn't the whole event. Like they can announce shit.
Yeah,
in
they're gonna
May
have
of
like
2022
announcements or something like that. Yeah, it's gonna be like
so
don't expect much.
Yeah, so the reactions, if it's not big next month, shouldn't be, that shouldn't happen. You have 11 more months of announcements to come.
So let's talk about Gamescom. This was 2 hours long, the event.
It was a couple of days, but
technically 2.5 hours.
Gamescom opening night live. Sorry, Nate. Gamescom opening night live.
That's right.
Sorry, I forgot about that exhilarating Xbox show the day before. Gamescom, the opening night live. There were actually a lot of games there. I'll at least give them credit there. There was a lot going on here. It still felt like it was a long event though, when they were going,
because it only had about 6 things that were worthwhile.
Okay, so obviously the big title.
Opening night lives though.
Couple of the big titles. Saints Row. It's getting a full reboot. People seem divided on it. I will say that looking through it, it's at least the concept of it sounds good. You're going to kind of start from nothing and build your way up.
Sounds like Saints Row 2, which was a great game.
Yeah, what's wrong with it? Why is it divided? I mean, I thought it looked kind of cool.
hipster, like hipster kind of like.
I don't think they're wrong either. And I like this is like okay, so I'm a Saints Row 3 and 4 fan. That's where I got my jollies in that series, and I love it. I would love them to keep going down that route. I recognize that they weren't going to do that though. But I think like I don't know if it's divided. I think we might be united in sort of saying okay, so I think the Saints Row 2 fans, Nate and MVG may be excluded here, but they seem to be mad that they were not going completely back just to 2 and pretending 3 and 4 didn't happen, and sticking with that same crew of characters and stuff. And then I'm upset that they're not going like down the wacky road and going with time travel and all this other stuff. I think the biggest mistake though is the characters do seem kind of whack. Like
they do seem kind of strange.
So like they're like talk about like they're complaining about student loans and all this stuff, and it feels like a parody of like what you would see on like a conservative like Instagram account or something like that, of like this is what liberals are really like.
I did see one person's comment say these look like people who spend all day on Twitter.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I was laughing all day on Twitter. Don't like people who spend all day on Twitter. That's the thing. I think this is a really poor decision for like basing your characters around what people like see in their head as whiny millennials. No one likes that thing because like even people who hate like student loans and do eat avocado toast don't see themselves that way. They just go to their job and they work hard.
These are Zoomers. These are not. These are definitely Zoomers.
I don't think that's anyone really. I don't think there's anybody who's really like these Saints Row characters, and I think it's going to be a backlash.
There are. Trust me. I live in California. There are.
Okay, fair enough. But it's like you shouldn't base your game around them because they are instantly dislikable, at least from what I've seen so far. But I'll try the game. I'll give it a shot. We're going to be playing it in a couple months. So, but from what I've seen so far, I'm not too excited.
There's been no gameplay shown, right? It was just that.
Yes, a little bit of gameplay.
They showed a few seconds. Media saw a longer clip of gameplay. And
my coworker saw it. Yeah.
I mean, generally people seemed high on the gameplay. They saw promise in what was actually shown to the media, not the 2 seconds that was shown at Gamescom.
But like what's described sounds cool. They're like, oh yeah, you start from nothing and you build up like real estate and you have businesses and you like run this bit. You eventually built this massive crime organization, and it's like the characters that we saw in the beginning don't seem like the people who are going to do that. Like
they looked like Watchdog characters at first.
Oh, thank you.
That's a good point.
As soon as I saw them, I was like, this is Watch Dogs 2. As soon as I saw the animatic, I don't know that based off the that cutscene, whatever the movie that they showed for that, I was like, that doesn't really sell me on anything. But I do want to see the gameplay. I've enjoyed Saints Row, but that whatever that was that they showed, I was like, this ain't it for me. I gotta see that gameplay.
We did have Marvel Midnight Suns. It's supposed to be the Fire Axis.
The trailer was diarrhea. Like you watch the trailer and it's like, oh, okay, this is gonna be a Marvel action game, and they're like, yeah, so this is a real-time strategy game. It's like, okay, nothing in that trailer made you think, oh, this is a real-time strategy game. Nothing, literally nothing.
It's a strategy RPG. It's a strategy RPG, Sean.
Yeah, show me a little gameplay.
The gameplay
in the trailer.
I think
it's a strategy RPG, chat.
They're showing gameplay soon on that, aren't
September 1st.
September 1st.
I'm not. I like gameplay. Like I see what Sean is saying in terms of like not having gameplay, and I hate that. But it's from the makers of XCOM, so I'm instantly. I'm like, okay, this is probably going to be pretty good.
And it's going to be more like Fire Emblem. It sounds like it's going to be like a Fire Emblem take on it.
It is going to be more like Fire Emblem based off of what they said, because you have like you can like build relationships with the other Marvel characters.
Your character that isn't a Marvel hero, a traditional Marvel hero. It's a new character that you're customizing, and then you're going to be able to get buddy with Wolverine. I don't think you're going to be able to have sex with Wolverine, but it's going to be.
Then I'm out.
I'm out.
I know. I'm like, do I even make this game?
Wolverine will tear you up, bro. Now you don't.
What am I buying the game for? Come on. Yeah.
Wait, Sean. There's a Switch logo on the title card.
No, I know.
It's the greatest game ever.
Because the Metal Slug stuff.
Yes, because I love No More Heroes 3 so much.
You know what? I will see the gameplay soon. And,
you know what? I have to say something else about No More Heroes 3.
Oh,
freaking game crashed on me 5 times.
Oh my god!
Look at you, problem. But
it crashed on me once.
I'm sitting down playing. I'm like, all right, I'm having some fun. Card crash. I'm like, fuck you.
It didn't crash on me. Good thing it didn't crash on me. Fortunately for me.
Yeah, but what about 10 minutes or so of Call of Duty Vanguard?
Oh goodness gracious!
Jesus
bro.
Lord,
that was terrible.
It kept going. Yeah, it kept going. I was like, what? I mean, it visually looks good. I don't really see anything too different, other than I guess they were kind of scaling some walls. That I'm like,
yeah, it's a little verticality.
I mean, I guess it's back to World War II. That's the problem, because over with Battlefield, they're swinging with grappling hooks around tornadoes, and I'm like, that looks fun. And then here they're like, hold on, I took a shot. Let me go ahead and just hold on. Okay,
load my musket.
I mean, the problem with these Call of Duty presentations, it's always the same stuff. This is so heavily scripted. When you play the sequence, it's not going to be anything like that, and it's all this marketing bullshit. Like visually, yeah, it looks like a nice step up. I'm not playing this Call of Duty. I don't care about this Call of Duty. That was a 15-minute nap interval during Gamescom opening night live. And you know what, Jeff? You don't even need to throw that in the next show.
I just he's gonna take it. That's the thing.
Well, that's the thing. They come knocking with a bag, and Jeff Keighley is gonna be like,
like, it's big enough. That's one of the big enough games where he just takes it. Like, yeah, he charges a lot of companies to be in there, but if they just show up and say, "Hey, here's Call of Duty," he'll take it.
Yep.
Over morals.
We had TMNT. TMNT. It's coming out next year now. By the way, it was implied in interviews and all of this that it was going to come out this year.
Thank you.
I went back and looked.
To chastise me, saying, never 2021.
You just needed to talk to me. I would have told you what was going on.
Why is that, MVG?
Well, from what I was told, it was always coming out next year.
Okay.
Sounds like marketing trickery going on.
April O'Neil is also a playable character.
Where's Casey Jones?
Hold on. You look at the logo. You look where April is, top right. There's a spot in the top left.
Casey's coming. Casey, if they got April in there, Casey's coming. Yeah.
I think so. Mate, what if they have a whole bunch of playable characters?
They got to put Metalhead in there, man. It'd be awesome.
They could do all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Splinter. You need Splinter.
Splinters. That's a good one.
Splinter should be OP though. He should be out there just one.
That's the last character you unlock, then, right? Is Splinter, and he just one shots everything.
April O'Neil's awesome though. It's so good that they put it in again.
See, I would think Metalhead would be an enemy. He'd be a boss.
No, they eventually changed it so that Donatello made him, and he was just used by them to help out.
Okay.
I was glad to see the Rat King. That was awesome.
Let's see. We had Cult of Lamb trailer, Midnight Express that got a trailer. It's coming out summer 2022. Morgana from Persona is part of Super Monkey Ball. Why isn't it Joker? Why is it Morgana?
Morgana is more fitting because it's a silly looking cat.
Why isn't it a cool Sega character? Was my question.
Whoa! You can be the Dreamcast.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Can I be the Saturn?
Be the car from the Daytona.
Yeah.
Can you be the Saturn?
That would be funny if they did that.
The Yakuza. You can be like one of the Yakuza dudes.
Yeah, you can be the main character from Yakuza.
Wait, did they have? What about the character from Knights?
Sega doesn't
the character from Knights.
It's not a AAA game. No, in the backyard.
First off, Knights has been acknowledged, and it's been a while, but it's been acknowledged. What was it? A pinball game.
Okay.
Oh gosh.
You mean Plinko? Yeah, Pachinko.
Splitgate that has Season 0 with a new map out now. Riders Republic got a trailer. UFL. So there's just another soccer game. What was that was weird. UFL.
Yeah. That soccer game. Free to play, free to win, or something.
Yeah, but
stupid.
Fair to win. Fair to win.
Fair to win.
Pro Evolution Soccer going free to play as well?
Yeah, that's why I was like, that's what I thought this was at first. I was like, is this like gameplay for it or something? No, it's a whole nother game. Like, weird.
Isn't it also using the Unreal Engine too? Because aren't they switching to
they changed to
Unreal. So, and I think this game, UFL was like Unreal Engine. So that's why I thought it was eFootball too. It was weird.
Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga is coming spring 2022. People are really hyped for that game. People keep asking about that game. It's very.
I feel like that game's been out for like 2 years.
This game's been pushed for a while, hasn't it? Like, it was supposed to come out last year or something, wasn't it?
Yes.
I think it was actually supposed to come out like fall 2019.
Yeah, it was supposed to be out around the last Star Wars movie.
So it's 2 years delayed.
Yep.
It's synced off planet. I don't know what that game was, but they showed like a quick trailer for it. The Outlast Trials next year.
Yeah,
you're on that, right? Yep.
Love Outlast.
Good game.
Doke V. We talked about that a little bit already. Jurassic World Evolution 2, November 9th. Checking that out, Sean?
I don't know. I need to see what they've done differently? Because they didn't really say what's been changed from Jurassic World 1. I know there's like the aquatic creatures now, but I want to see. I want to like see what they've actually done to improve it or change it.
We had another Far Cry 6. Has anyone else beaten Far Cry 6 here? Because I feel like I have.
Yes.
Like how many trailers and pieces of media have you seen
Far Cry
5? At least a dozen since
it's
June.
A lot, isn't it? Like I don't know. I feel like every event I watch
every gaming event that takes place.
And I keep forgetting that's even coming out.
Like, Mike Minotti, my co-host over on GameSpeak Decides, he did a preview event for it and played and he's like, okay, I'll start it, and then they had him play for like 5 hours, and by then he's like, I'm done. I don't need to play that game ever again.
Really?
So,
oh man!
Yeah, I mean, not that it's good or bad one way or the other, just like it's still Far Cry, so it's like
That's a shame because the main villain
5 hours. That's crazy.
Is the main villain's actually I'm sure going to be interesting in the game because the actor for it. And
right,
all this,
of course,
it's Far Cry needs a reboot.
You're just better off just watching Breaking Bad. That's what what I'm gonna do instead. I'm just gonna watch Breaking Bad again.
We just saw Saints Row get a reboot, and like people are 50-50 on it now, but I feel like Far Cry needs a reboot. I think it's time.
Yes.
Yeah.
I bought Far Cry 4 and 5. These games are just. I don't think they're very good. They're just not very. They're good, but they're just like. It's so much of the same thing. It's so like there's no the formula is just, just done like over and over again.
They hit 3, and 3 was like
3 was very good.
3 was just really solid on everything, but like it was like they really hit a stride with villains and characters in that game, and so they mimicked that with 4, and it was very samey. It just couldn't live up to 3, but it did a good enough job still being a good game. And then you get to 5, and it's like. Same concept. In 6, same concept, and here's a random spin-off game, and here's a random spin-off game, and too much Primal Far Cry, too much of the same. Like Far Cry, Primal is literally the same map as 4, but now there's no guns.
What happened to Ubisoft?
A lot.
They have a lot of studios.
A lot of money.
If something works, they have to stick with it.
Yeah, they make a lot of people buy Far Cry over.
Far Cry is successful. So comes out in December, still does very well. Yeah.
You just keep buying Far Cry over and over and over. So
let's see, we got Park Beyond that's coming out in 2022. Jet the Far Shore that's out October 5th. New World got trailer. Evan, you checking out New World?
Probably. I checked out the last beta run with my buddies. It's okay.
Okay, this is coming September 28th according to that trailer. Lost Judgment got another trailer. Replace. Okay, so Replace looks awesome, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, good. Because I keep seeing this. I'm like, wow, this game looks incredible.
Looks so good. Yes.
It was a highlight from the Xbox E3 show, and I'm hyped about that game.
Yeah, that's next year. Still, yeah, okay. Age of Empires 4 gameplay trailer. Then we had Crossfire X trailer. I thought Crossfire X was already supposed to be out. Did that get delayed?
No, Crossfire X is in development hell from what I've heard. So
okay,
like the Remedy side of it, I think is like just having a rough time getting the campaign together. Who knows? I think they might be past that, but yeah, they were in a rough patch for quite some time. And that's why we haven't heard much about it. That's why you might feel like it's already out because it's been announced for so long. You figured it must have came along already, but nope, still haven't seen much from it.
Sifu got a trailer. It's coming out February 22nd. Still looks very good.
That game looks good.
The game looks good, but it's weird that Sony wasn't able to secure the release date for it in the State of Play in July. Instead, they had the delay announcement trailer, and then a month later, Gamescom just gives the release date.
Yeah, maybe I guess they were just ready to give it now. I don't know. And then we had two big announcements. Kind of one was kind of big, but I knew Sean would be interested in this one because he has the collector's edition baby for this. That's Death Stranding Director's Cut. Okay, so we got thrusters, we got cargo catapults all over the place. There's a buddy bot, and they have some action-oriented delivery missions. Looks kind of like Metal Gear.
It's Death Stranding Fun Edition.
I saw this on Twitter. Go ahead, tell people what you tweeted out. Go ahead, let them know. What did you say?
Hold on. I say a lot of things on Twitter. What did I say?
It's coming out September 24th. I gotta hear what the verified person on Twitter said.
I think the enhancements that are into the game are kind of cool, but I can't help thinking the absolute disgust that Kojima's probably having, that he's had to add those additions into the game because he doesn't want to.
Debasing himself, right?
Yeah.
Really?
Trackmania in there, yeah.
Add those in. You think
I don't think he wants to add those in at all. I think he's just been told this is what we need to do for the director's cut.
They told him do something for the PS5 version. You got to do something. We're gonna call it a director's cut, and he was like, "Excuse me." I know what a director's cut is. This is not a director's cut. And they're like, we're calling it a director's cut. Get back to work.
He put a whole thing on Twitter about the literal meaning of director's cut. It's like, dude, it's just marketing.
Yeah, but he did not want to be associated with that decision. You could tell. So
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, Sean.
Death Stranding Fun Edition. Now, all of you people who capped and said the core gameplay was fun must hate this game because this looks like an actual video game with stuff to do now.
Man.
Not wrong.
Jesus.
I remember when the game first came out, the whole topic around it was the gameplay that you were just walking. And now we're like on racetracks and like wiping people out Metal Gear Solid style.
Doing sweet wet stunts on your bike. Yeah.
I was replaying it on my PC like a month ago. I freaking love that game. I'll pick up the director's cut.
Yeah.
You have a sickness.
I think it's funny seeing all the stuff they've added to it and how they're advertising it as, you know, like, I don't know, I feel like with the director's cut, like you still want to resell the game to people who didn't pick it up. Like, oh, what's the interesting part? What's the story here? This trailer's like, look at all this wacky stuff you're doing in this empty world. What's the story? I don't know. Who cares? Look, you could race a car now. Now there's motorcycles. You could you could just get on a bot that carries you around the map. And I'm like, I mean, this is a cool advertisement for people who played the game. It's like, oh, wow, they really put a lot of stuff in here. But to anyone who doesn't know anything about this game, that's a bad advertisement. It's like, here's a bunch of nonsense going on.
I'm going to head back to it, provided I can get my save off of the PS4. And like it's similar to what we had recently with Ghost of Tsushima, where it was real easy to get your save over. If it's like that, then I'll jump in and check it out again, just to see the new content. And apparently these base infiltration missions, which looks like Metal Gear Stranding, basically. I will be checking it out again, though. That's September 24th. You gonna check this out, Sean?
No.
Oh. You're not gonna go back and check it out again? See what's there?
No.
I'm curious about the DualSense integration to see what they have added there, because I feel like those adaptive triggers is what this game like really could have used. With some of the balancing aspects and
that would be cool. If they pull that off, that'll be really cool, actually. Yeah, good point. I didn't even think about that.
So that's what I'm really curious about. Just all the and of course, you know, you got the rain coming down, which I'm assuming they're going to use the DualSense similar to what they have with Returnal, where you get like a lot of kind of the rain effects and all of this. And I guess technically, with Lou, when you drop Lou down, you have to pick Lou up to then like rock back and forth. I almost wonder if they'll do something with the advanced haptic feedback with that, where you can almost feel Lou kind of bouncing around in that jar as well.
Get him a
just go baby the jar, like you're banging its head against the side of the jar.
Totally. Because we did that with like the marbles kind of in 1-2 Switch, and that had a similar effect. So I wonder if they're gonna have something like that where it kind of feels like something is rattling around inside the DualSense controller as well.
It's only $50 on Amazon.
I mean, if you already have Death Stranding, it's like a $10 upgrade.
Yeah, it's just weird. It's seeing that it's not a $70 release right now.
It's a $50 release?
It's $50 on Amazon right now.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
Oh, that's strange. Okay. Then we had Horizon Forbidden West. This was the big announcement. We did get a release date for it, and MVG was right. It's not coming out this year. Although it's August, like the end of August. So did anyone really think it was coming out this year now? Like anybody? Because
Sean did.
Initially, and then in May I changed my mind. I was like, no, I don't think it's coming.
February 18th is when it's coming out. So 4 days before Sifu comes out. And then we have Saints Row that week. So
busy month.
February's I mean, really, if you look at 2022, because I was looking at it for a video today, there's like 30 something games we already know about for 2022, or supposedly are coming. A lot of them got delayed out of this year, so we assume they're going to make next year. Like that's a pretty busy year, and then you figure we'll get more games from Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo at least that announced them.
I mean,
it's going to be packed.
Sony starts off 2022 fairly strong. If current undated games remain on schedule, this includes Sony and third-party published games for the PlayStation 5. Their first half is going to look very impressive, and it's unfortunate for Microsoft, who is probably going to have another vacant 6 months to start 2022. So,
well, Redfall, until Redfall, in the summer,
that's probably the first major Microsoft exclusive release for them. So we're looking at a very similar situation for 2021 for the Xbox, unfortunately.
Well, you think also Sony has their PlayStation VR 2 headset out next year as well?
Yeah, probably by the holiday.
Still have new hardware too to go along with that, and some new games for that as well. I think next year's gonna be a big year for Sony. I think they're gonna have a lot of stuff hitting like left and right. And new hardware.
Even if they just get the games that they originally slated for 2021 with God of War and Gran Turismo 7, now you include Horizon in that mix. That's 3 big first-party published games just coming out in 2022, and that doesn't include anything that was unannounced at this point.
Forspoken, I think is set for 2022 as well.
Yeah, Forspoken is 2022.
What about Final Fantasy 16? What do you think the odds of that?
Yeah, Final Fantasy 16,
2022.
Chance. Yeah.
Maybe Silent Hill.
Metal Gear remake.
The game doesn't exist. How many times do I have to say on the show?
Can you prove
Silent
it
Hill doesn't exist?
Can you prove that it does?
Bullshit.
How dare you diminish Super Team's efforts on Silent Hill right now?
Oh, we do have. There's Stalker 2. Stalker 2's out. April.
February. I thought it was February.
It's like a 3-month exclusive though, so like that will also hit that for 6 months for PlayStation.
Yeah, I mean that's not. I mean, Stalker 2 isn't going to be enough to. I mean, Microsoft's big thing for the first half of 2022 right now is going to say we patched Halo Infinite with co-op multiplayer.
Yeah, right. Like that's because
We'll call campaign, but we already played through campaign.
So I mean, Sony's in a really strong spot. Ideally, they begin to flesh out a little more of their early half of 2022 plans in a state of play set for next month. They could wait a little longer if they choose to, but I mean, Microsoft is going to have a lot of competition in the first half of 2022, and they need answers.
Yeah, and like we already see Nintendo showing up with Pokemon Arceus. That's going to kick off the year, and then we're going to get, I assume, Splatoon 3. That could be like a first half of the year. Summer. And then we roll into Breath of the Wild
on
2,
Microsoft. Yeah, I'm like they got to get to E3 is the thing. Like, because if they can get to E3 next year, then they could start talking about here's Starfield for this holiday, and here's a bunch of stuff that really is coming in 2023, and then you are going to get the Avoweds and Perfect Darks and everything else that we've heard about for years now. So if they can get to next E3, they'll be fine. But from now until that E3, with just pretty much Halo and then the promise of Redfall, it is going to be pretty. I guess if Stalker 2 comes out and Stalker 2 is really good and like gets conversation, which I'm like I am still skeptical about, then maybe they'll be okay. But yeah, it's going to be a Sony first half of the year, which has been kind of how it's been for the last few years, right? Where the first half of the year, Sony's just dominated.
Yes.
I love lists.
I made a list of all the games that I had looked at that are coming up next year. I can go through them very, very quickly. I think it's like 30-something games. Elden Ring, Pokemon Legends Arceus, Rainbow Six Extraction, Horizon Forbidden West, Sifu, Saints Row, Evil Dead, WWE 2K22, that can move to March, actually. Marvel's Midnight Suns, Stalker 2, Test Drive Solar Crown. We already have a release date for that, by the way. That's September 22nd of next year. Starfield, then games without release dates or that have like pretty large windows like Q2, Q3 kind of things. Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope, Redfall, Metal Slug Tactics, Ghostwire Tokyo, Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga, God of War, Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, Splatoon 3, Gotham Knights, Hogwarts Legacy, Forspoken, Dead Space, Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, Gran Turismo 7, Need for Speed, Project Triangle Strategy, Prince of Persia Sands of Time Remake, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge.
1/4 of those games will get delayed to 2020.
Dude, half these games got delayed from this year.
Hey,
Prince of Persia remake.
Like a lot of these games got delayed from this year. I should have actually outlined those two. WWE 2K22 got delayed from like a year and a half ago or something.
For the best.
But that's what I'm saying. A lot of these games like are already a year delayed, maybe more.
I mean, some of them will probably get delayed again because COVID impacts are still being felt and they're still figuring out really where they are in terms of game development and how much time was lost and what they still have to recover. I mean, it's technically not on your list because it has not yet been announced, but Nintendo's original plan was to release Xenoblade Chronicles 3 this year. It should have been announced several months ago.
What?
Yeah, well, I was going to add that to the list, but it's not going to get announced for like another month or so.
There's no guarantee it's announced this year.
It's not going to get announced this year.
There's no guarantee.
They got to close out at that Nintendo Direct with that.
there's a chance it's announced this fiscal year, but it really depends on where they're planning to slot it in for a release in 2023 or 2022.
But it's going to be. They've got to announce it. They're going to end if they have a direct. They're going to end it direct.
Finish out the direct with it, right?
No, start the direct with it, please.
No, they're going to start. They're going to start the direct with like Smash, like they always do, or something like that.
Justice
they're going to
for the Monado.
They're going to end it. They're going to end it with Xeno 3 and how it's completely kind of like it's been retooled. It's a different type of Xeno. They're going to end it. They've done it before. By the way, they ended the direct with a remaster.
Yeah, but Xenoblade, yeah.
Yeah, so they ended it with the remaster before. So pretty sure.
All I'm saying is next year, like, might be one of the biggest years we've ever seen in gaming, just because of the delays out of this year.
I think 2023 is going to be even bigger then. I really do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of Microsoft's projects spun up.
Right, and we'll still be getting Sony and Nintendo. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, by 2023, we might be talking about whatever Nintendo's coming up with after the Switch at that point.
Go on.
Maybe, yeah.
That's what, 6 years after the Switch release. So then you start thinking year 7 and like what other system they have after that. Family of systems, maybe.
Switch Pro Talk comes back around.
Well, hopefully by 2023, it'll have already like come and gone at that point, because then we're just going next gen. So let's see. Evan, we got Discord questions.
Is cost the only thing holding up 64 gigabyte Switch cartridges?
Yes.
I'm gonna say yes. Okay, yeah.
Partially,
yeah. Partially,
yes.
Is it cost, and I'm gonna say also supply?
Yeah.
It's cost, supply. It's the lack of components.
Yeah.
Those are also raising prices, so it's just not really fiscally. It's not fiscally feasible to bring that to market, and the amount of games that would really use it just doesn't necessitate the need right now.
I like that you combine the words to fiscable.
It's strange to think that if the Switch was all digital, that some games that would have required a 64 gigabyte card, they would just put out there, because then it wouldn't even care about a physical release.
Yeah,
I don't care. It's not worth it.
It's strange to think about that. We got another Discord question.
This one's for Jordan. Do you think you'll ever cover older Disney shows in the vein of Lizzie McGuire and the Even Stevens show, or does that sit outside your scope?
Probably. I have a Disney. It's a Disney cartoon. I have a Disney show coming out this Friday. I'm talking about this upcoming Friday.
All right, we got another one, Evan.
I guess I'll go with this last one. What's a game that a lot of people love that you just couldn't get into?
No More Heroes 3.
God of War.
Halo.
Evan and his Halo slander over there.
It's too slow, man. It's just too slow.
This will upset some people, but I'm going to say it.
I mean, yeah, okay, go ahead.
Ghost of Tsushima.
All right, I'm kicking him off.
He really said Ghost of Tsushima. Wow.
Yeah, it's a good game. I'm not in love with it.
Series. You know what? I'm on MVG's side now. Silent Hill's a lie.
I think it just comes down to like the formula that they use. Like, Ghosts. I like it too. It was kind of hard.
The fun formula.
Well, no, it's like the Assassin's Creed formula done better.
It's too much fun.
It's just Assassin's Creed just done better. It's a really good Assassin's Creed. Some people might not like the formula. Good game. But the formula of Assassin's Creed.
It is a good game. Yeah, it's just it's still a standard open world game where
not standard.
Where the rinse and repeat of these side missions, I'm just sitting, I'm like, okay, I'm doing the same thing over and over again. And like the story is great. The setting is awesome. It has high production values. Mm-hmm. Like all of that is exquisite. It's just when I'm actually going through the game, I'm just kind of feeling like this is pretty standard fare for this genre. It didn't really push anything. Is it the best Assassin's Creed game in recent history? Yes, probably the best Assassin's Creed since Assassin's Creed 2. But that doesn't make me fall in love with this game. I think it's solid for what it is, but I don't think it is like the be all end all of open world games.
They got to bring back Infamous. That's what they got to do, right?
I would like to see Infamous come back. That could look really cool on the PS5.
Yes, no, that would be something that would be really cool. Although Infamous didn't really push any type of crazy boundaries either, but it was just cool because it was like you shock people. You shock the hell out of people.
Fun.
That's just fun. Like you don't see that a lot. Like we never got a static shock game, so this was kind of like
it's like Ghost of Tsushima. It was just too much fun. Nate doesn't like
we play that type of game. It's just better done.
We just played. I like it though. I do like Ghost of Tsushima. I echo what Nate said. Maybe Ghost for me. Maybe Ghost.
I forgot about this, Sean. There might be a Death Stranding too.
Yeah, saw that.
About time. I've been waiting.
They said they're in the initial talks for Death Stranding.
Norman Reed is coming through with them.
Get the concept. Here's the concept of the second game. Instead of you delivering the packages, you're just waiting a long time, and someone eventually
you're the one
brings you a
shipping.
package.
You're shipping and ordering from Amazon Prime.
Yeah, you're just hanging out. You're just waiting.
That sounds cool. And then you'll see the reviewers. I didn't have fun, but 10 out of 10.
It's basically just Sean's life as it is whatsoever.
Now. It's a really deep meaning. Okay, it's about patience. You know.
So Smoke says thoughts on Naughty Dog multiplayer only game. Was it Last of Us 2? Oh, the one they're hiring for right now. It's probably Factions or like
it's probably Factions.
Yeah, you know what? That should be a game they attempt as a live service because that's what they're trying to do right now with multiplayer, and just put it on PC as well at the same time. See if that works.
Yes,
just try it. See what happens. I'm not saying put Last of Us 2 on PC, but like just the multiplayer and just be like, all right, it's on both and it's crossplay. See what happens. So this is from Dave saying, with all the multiple villains in No Way Home, I suspect the main villain is actually Mephisto disguised as Doctor Strange. Thoughts, Spawncast, on the sheer possibilities of this film. Evan,
what
do you think about the trailer we got?
I mean, it's mostly just going into the multiverse stuff. I know it feels like the new Marvel movies coming forward are leaning into the magical side of Marvel, so maybe, but like I'm just focusing on it being the multiverse thing with many of the characters returning to reprise their villain roles.
Is Tobey Maguire in the
his villains are, so maybe. Yeah.
Oh, okay, because that's what everyone saw when they saw the villains. They were like, okay, he's got to be in there.
Would we be okay if he's just like a walk-on role? Like maybe he gets a pizza delivered to him and he just walks up and gives him the pizza and like that's it.
Well, the big thing is that
the sidewalk in the background.
The big thing is that Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man may, whatever role he may have in that movie, he may have a larger role with Doctor Strange in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness next year, which is directed by Sam Raimi.
I was gonna say, is the Raimi suit in, Jordan?
Yeah, yes.
It's in this movie too. Now, here's the question. All right. If it's in the movie, do you reveal it before the movie comes out in a trailer?
Yeah, as much as I'd be like, oh, great, yeah, like that'd be the best surprise. Don't say that there's 3 Spider-Men in the film before the film comes out. But unfortunately, they know how much that would sell if they make a poster that has all 3 Spider-Men and have a trailer for it. So, of course, the final trailer or whatever before the film comes out will probably be a big reveal of the other Spider-Man in the film.
Well, I figure early screenings would leak it anyway. Like someone would be like, yeah,
there's been leaked photos from the set. There's all this stuff. It's gonna happen, and if it somehow doesn't, then it doesn't. You know, I'm excited for how weird things are gonna get now at this point with Marvel movies. Like this is the Marvel I'm excited for at this point. Like get weird, do weird.
You don't really, because you don't really know what's gonna happen. So I'm all for it. I'm all for it. After they drop Quicksilver randomly.
The Mephisto thing is funny because this one actually is pseudo based on a story that could tie into Mephisto for real. But the joke with that is that every Marvel show or property that's come out this year, everyone's like, "Oh, it's Mephisto. Oh, the secret villain's Mephisto." So it's become a meme about that.
That and the story this is based on is considered one of the worst or something.
I know, that's what's funny. I think they're on a mission to be like, "No, we can make this bad story good. Trust us.
We will do this."
Taker says RGT getting nervous with that new Metroid trailer.
Cool as cucumber.
And then Marky Muck then asked how much for your sweaty cap.
I would have to like make a specific hat for that.
Okay.
I'm not giving you my Knicks hat.
Banana says, let's see. Sup gamers, remember to always keep your eyes out on all sus Bakas and finish all your tasks. Imposters beware among us.
All right.
There you go. Mug says
you read that.
Horizon is amazing. Glad it's finally at 60 FPS. We did have a patch as well. So that's good. So like
they held that shit. They held that shit because they were like, oh, we gotta delay Forbidden West, so let's make people happy and give them the 60 frames per second patch.
It's been like that on PC for so long. It's weird that it took this long to get it on PS5. At least they did it though. So
it's true, but the PC version was pretty rough for a long time before they fixed it.
For a while. It's fine now, but yeah.
Yep. This is from X Era saying Nindy buys Stadia Tech. Boom, Switch 5G, no Game Pass.
No.
Pixelated Pigeon says Psychonauts 2 is game of the year. Okay, popped hard for Big Ben in new Halo trailer. Odyssey is great at 60 FPS on next gen. Congrats MVG on Quake. Jeff has good hair.
Thank you.
And then X Era says, see you at too many games. Mac Mega says, will RGT also be eating a plant alongside the giant crow for dinner while he has to play Balan Wonderland? Good, we'll sell 3 million. Hashtag
none of that stuff's happening.
Washing it down with a cup full of sea monkeys. It'll be good.
They're almost all dead.
How did you kill a sea monkey?
I don't know.
I think it's just
They're almost immortal.
Didn't feed them. This man be eating Taco Bell all day, but didn't feed his freaking.
I feed them.
Are they dead? What do you mean?
I don't know.
Are they dead? What do you mean you don't know?
I don't know.
Animal. PETA. Let's call PETA in this. Let's call PETA on this man.
Amiibo fan says Sean needs to replay Troll and I if he loses.
Fuck that.
Jack says, great job on your iCarly vid, Jordan. Keep it up.
I'm gonna start. I'm making an iCarly Wii review tomorrow.
Do it.
I have the game.
You should get the sequel, iCarly 2.
I don't know.
HUD says SMT 5 will be a contender for Game of the Year. Hype is real.
No, because they don't play those type of games.
I don't think it's going to review like that based on what we see with some of these.
It's going to review really well. It's going to review really well, but the people who vote don't play the game.
I mean, like we see like
we
JRPGs that
I don't
like
play
the
that.
reviews don't necessarily like match sometimes the quality of the JRPGs because they're just the way they're viewed.
Yeah, they just don't play them. So unfortunate.
Jalen says, "Here's my $5 voucher for his OJ here."
What's up? I'm here. I actually had the Spawncast pre-show, which RGT once again wasn't there for that. But I had the Spawncast pre-show, and yeah, but people were still asking me if I'm going to be on.
Yeah, I missed that pre-show, Sean. What happened?
Yeah.
Where's the pre-show?
I didn't feel like doing it today.
You and OJ
count on you next
co-op like streams.
Can I count on you next week, Sean? Maybe
pre-show. Talk about the.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Sounds good.
Oh wait, no, you can't. Sorry. No, I got family coming in town.
Oh, dude, let me tell you something. They're like, "Is RGT coming on?" I was like, "I don't think so." They've been asking you now for like 2 or 3 weeks. I'm like, no, I don't think not this week.
Fish fan says, "Thanks for a hilarious show, Spawn Crew." RGT prediction on if Gma will bring you a housewarming meal and what will it be?
Of course you will. So there's a funny story.
Because he demanded it.
So yesterday, I had the inspection done on the house. So me and the realtor went over there. We met with the inspection guy. My grandma was like, "I want to come by. I want to see the place." I was like, "Okay." So she comes by with my uncle, who's not really my uncle, but I just call him my uncle. It's like her nephew or something like that. And so they're looking around the house, and I'm like, "Why do you have this big bag with you?" And so me and the realtor are just like sitting in the kitchen, like talking about something. And she just puts the bag on the kitchen table. I was like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "Oh, I brought food." She brought a pizza that she had made and eclairs from the bakery. And I'm like, "Huh." She's like, "Oh, I brought paper plates so we don't have to use any of the ladies' plates." Because all the house isn't empty. The people are still living in there. And so, yeah, we just like ate in this lady's kitchen that's going to be my kitchen soon. And we had pizza and eclairs.
Very nice.
Wholesome. It was a good time.
It was good to have a home.
Jeffrey says, $200 Xbox controller gives me back paddles to compensate for my disability. I can play shooters efficiently.
Fair.
Aiden Quinn says, "No More Heroes 3 topping Amazon."
Let's go.
Pixelated Pigeon says, "Build quality on Elite 2s is awful. The Halo pad will break in 6 months and Microsoft won't be able to replace it like for like. Congrats, RGT, on the house." That's my one concern about the Elite. I know that the quality isn't the greatest for those Elite controllers. So like, I want the Halo controller because it looks really cool and all of that. But I have had my own concerns with Elite series controllers in the past.
Can I tell you something about my Elite controller?
I need to make a new one anyway.
I don't even use it in I just have one as like a media player, and it messed up. I'm like, how did it even like the whole grip thing? I'm like, I don't even use it for a real controller.
Yeah, I think the grip stuff like peels off or something at the time.
It can completely peel it off on my Elite 1 controller that I have.
I thought they were going to make a new one for this, and it's just the same one that doesn't even have the share button. It's very weird.
That was weird. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if they just had the shells laying around. They're like, just gonna put that out there. So that tells me a new one's not coming this Probably anytime soon. So
I think Microsoft forgot. They have so many damn controllers. They're just like, man, they must have forgot. That's what
they're dropping a lot of controllers. They keep doing it. So, and then Cosmo says, finally got my 3070 Ti 18 hours later at Best Buy. I saw that, by the way, near me was going to get stock of it. And it was like, show up at 7 a.m. and hope you can get a ticket for a 3080. And I'm like, we're really still doing this. Like the 3080 has been out for a while and we're still lining up at 7 a.m. to hope we get a ticket.
Mine's at the other house. Gotta get there.
I don't want to buy a whole new computer to get a 3080. I just want to buy the 3080 at the MSRP price and that's it.
Well, too bad.
Well, whenever the 4000 series comes out, maybe I'll have a shot. Not at the 4000 series, the 3000 series. I'm still just going to apparently try for a 3080. Jared says, which one did you get? Did you get 3070?
I have a 3070 in this machine.
Yes.
Yep.
That's what it was. Okay. How's that treating anyway?
That's pretty good. Yeah, I like the DLSS feature. Finally, I can use that, but it's pretty good for the most part. It's good for video editing and it's good for games. So I have no complaints.
This is from Jared saying, OJ, how would you rank the 3 No More Heroes games?
There's 4. But yeah, I'd put number 1. Let's just go from top. Number 1, I'd say 3, 2, 1, then Travis Strikes Again from top to bottom.
There you go. Nicholas says, do you think Microsoft will become like Nintendo with game release and holding them back with all the studios and with Game Pass becoming more profitable? Become like, hold a game that's done for like a year before they release it?
I mean, all companies already do that. They hold games they proper time in a lineup where they feel as though they'll get the maximum impact of their release. Sony does it with games. Microsoft does it with games. Nintendo does it. So they're already at that point.
Matanumi says, is it strange how Vita Homebrew is a bigger deal than Switch Homebrew? I mean, look at all those unofficial ports coming out lately. I think people like the challenge of just moving stuff to the Vita.
I mean, the Vita Homebrew community is really, really passionate about wanting to keep that system alive. And there's some great stuff. Like a Bad Company 2 just got ported, so I'm gonna be checking that out again.
Serious?
Dude, I'm dead serious. Like,
I gotta check that out.
They're doing some amazing stuff. Like, basically, they grab all the games that have been running on Android for the last couple of years. There's a wrapper that they've built that basically takes the Android APKs and they can run them on the Vita with some modifications. So the Grand Theft Auto trilogy is there. There's like Max Payne and the Final Fantasy, I think it's 3 and 4 just got ported. Bad Company's out. Bullies was ported as well.
This blows my mind because
there's so much cool stuff on there.
Sony could have made that system so cool. Like, oh man, that's funny though. Bad Company. I'm going to look at some gameplay footage for that. I have to see how that runs on the Vita. You gonna do a video on that?
Yeah, it's on the list. Yeah, it's coming up.
Cool.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Because I'll check that out. Ray Silva says DoKV got a lot of side eyes, but honestly it was a breath of fresh air and looks next gen to me. Also Cult of Lamb day 1 buy. Bag says just a little love, I'll listen on Monday at work. Captain says Ratchet and Clank is over reliant on graphics. Visual tech is not gameplay. Remove the visuals from Rift Apart and you have a mostly average game. Psychonauts is a better video game.
Not wrong.
There you go, Nate.
That's partially wrong.
Partially wrong. I love that.
Come on. The gunplay of Ratchet and Clank is fantastic.
The combat action is good.
The combat and action of the game is fantastic. So the gameplay itself is good. The worlds are interesting. It's good exploration. I mean, what?
I think it's greater than the sum of its parts because of the graphics, actually, personally. So that's where I'm like, I could see like loving Psychonauts 2 more pretty easily.
Yeah, I mean, visuals always help elevate a game a little bit. I mean, that game is part of the appeal of. I mean, that's why it's a visual stimulating product.
That game does look crazy. Yeah. This is from Sakon saying, with Dread, all big 3 could Game of the Year candidates this year. All big 3.
Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo.
Yeah.
Game of the Year contenders. Yeah.
Yes. Good point. Okay.
We haven't had that in a while. Like an exclusive from each company. Like the big 3. Yeah, it's been. I don't even remember the last time. I'm pretty sure it's happened, but I don't remember.
Yeah, WarioWare is going to be up there. It's going to be great.
Oh yeah, dude.
Humdrum says no one remembers Gears 5 campaign not being shown off 3 to 4 weeks before launch, and even then it was just a trailer, not full campaign gameplay like Halo.
I don't agree with that. I was at E3 that year, and they were showing all the multiplayer stuff, and they showed nothing of the campaign. And then they brought out Terminator and all this sort of weird and wacky stuff. I was like, where the hell's the campaign?
I remember people mentioning that.
Yeah, it caused doubt in the game.
It absolutely did.
It was not the smart move. They should have been promoting. I mean, I know Gears is heavily like there's a huge multiplayer base. I was in it, at a time, but like at the core, Gears has a great campaign for the most part throughout the series, and to not advertise that as a feature is big, especially when they were changing up so many drastic elements of it. So I don't know. I think it was a blunder on that.
This is from Donovan saying, "MG, what can you tell us about Power Slave?"
It's in development.
Oh,
that's all I can tell you.
Okay, there we go. J Stud says, "Sean, it's grandma. Cover your shoulders so you don't get a cold."
He would say that.
It's summer. Okay. It's summertime.
It doesn't matter.
Unfinished says, "Any budget TV recommendations for the PS5?"
That TCLs, any of those TCLs are still good.
The TCL, yeah, TCLs are, if you're looking for budget, yeah. I would say
what's his budget?
That's a good question. It just says any budget TV recommendations.
If you get like $700, $800, you can go one of the Sony, the XJ90s or whatever they are. Those are pretty good.
I guess at this point, budget would be like 500 or less for a lot of people.
So, TCL.
Just save up and spend some more.
I think it's worth grabbing like a nice OLED or one of the nicer LED screens.
Don't cheap it out. And here's the reason why I say that is because then you're just gonna want it later. You're just gonna as when you start seeing you're just gonna want it later. So it's better to just save whatever crappy TV you got. Just stick with it. And then just save up. And then when you have it, then get the nice OLED and Black Friday or whatever, or, Black Friday deal. Just do that. Don't buy it now because then you're just going to spend more. In about a year, you're going to want something new because you went with the budget TV. So save up and then get it once it's at a good price and it's a good TV. Get one of those nice OLEDs. So just wait. You've already waited this long. Wait a bit more.
Also, if you sit pretty close to your TV, it's worth looking into a monitor because like for $300 to $400, you can actually get a really nice monitor. So... Two-Tone Jake says, "Does MVG like snooker? Who's his favorite player despite being British? I always root for Neil Robertson."
I'm not really a big snooker fan. But Jimmy White's Whirlwind Snooker was a great game I used to play back in the day. So I would say Jimmy White is my my favorite snooker player.
Cover athlete was on the cover.
Yep, John Madden of snooker for sure.
Yep. There you go.
What? Oh.
Brian says, "Speaking of PS5 patch updates, anyone thinking of replaying Horizon Zero Dawn now that the PS5 patch is out for it?"
Yeah, I was thinking about checking it out.
I'm actually already halfway through it again.
I'm going to play it again. I'm going to play it again before Forbidden West comes out.
That was before the patch came out. So like now I'm going to go back and it's just going to be all smooth.
Yeah, I might do like a Horizon week or something like before the new game comes out. I might do something like that.
Voltage says, "Do you think we'll see a Simpsons Hit and Run remaster or maybe the Simpsons game remake?" I don't know. I'd like to see Simpsons Hit and Run get a remaster. I think that'd be cool, but
I think there's a lot of shit tied in with that, though.
Yeah.
Yep.
The source code just leaked, so just let the community do it and get a good PC.
Someone already put it in the Unreal Engine and all this stuff already. So
yeah.
Commander says, "Is it just me or does the Saints Row reboot feel like it lost its identity? It feels like they are trying to straddle both styles of 1, 2, and 3 and 4." Yeah. Eric says, "No love for King of Fighters 15. It got its release date during Gamescom, right?"
Yeah, it's pre-show though.
Okay. I says, "Do you think it's time for Sony and Microsoft to sell their in big box stores now or online store?" Oh, just to get the PS5 and the Xbox back into big box stores. I'd like to see them in big box stores because they keep selling out at these online retailers and they keep flooding eBay. I don't know. I kind of thought after a year we would be to the point where they start showing up on shelves, but like I kind of think it's going to be another year almost. And that's weird because the Switch is just in stores. Like you just walk in and find a Switch. They're there. Switch Lights and the regular Switch, the red box anyway, is at like the Walmart near me. I don't know if the OLED's going to be that easy to find, but like you can just get a Switch. So I don't know. I'm hoping next year. Tyler says, "Congrats on the house, RGT. Hope you enjoy Balan."
Thank you. I will not enjoy a game that I do not have to play.
Let me go to Streamlabs so we can do some outros here. Sean, where can everyone find you?
You can find me on RGT85. I have no idea what I'm doing this week. Like the next 2 months are gonna be sporadic and chaotic as hell. So,
but
just
now
turn
that
on
house,
notifications. Yeah,
but
but
now
now
too many games.
No, you know what day I'm closing?
Announce it. What? Huh?
I can't announce it because I close on October 5th.
That's fine.
Oh, well.
All right.
You need a house.
He'll be all right.
We'll see.
Okay. You'll be okay.
We'll see.
He'll be there. He'll be at too many games.
I'm trying, but I have a feeling I'm going to be moving. So
do it later.
Moving sucks. It actually sucks really bad.
Yeah,
I'm
do it when you
hiring
get back.
over.
Yeah, when you get back from too many games, do it.
Push it.
See, I hate that. That'll drive me nuts.
Well, you're gonna come home with stuff anyway that you can then just put in your new place.
I don't spend no money.
What? Yeah, you will. You'll buy something. You said that when we went to like New York or whatever, and you come home with a Panasonic Q.
That was cheap.
Sure, it was.
It was. I paid like $260 for that bitch.
That is cheap for a Panasonic Q.
That was the steal of the show.
That was. Streamlabs Iconic says, wanted to say I've watching Spawn Wave videos for about a year and the podcast as well, and loving it a lot. Also, I wanted to know how likely can we see Persona 5 Royal on Xbox? I feel like Microsoft would drop the bag for that one, but that's kind of up to Atlas and PlayStation.
I think it's probably still going to happen, but I don't know.
Jeff
has a chance.
Thank you for joining us tonight. Where can everyone find you, Jeff Grubb?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter at Jeff Grubb. Follow me there. Jeffrey Grubb on Twitch, Jeff Grubb on Twitch. On YouTube, it's youtube.com/Jeffrey Grubb. The link's down below. Thanks for that. I appreciate that. And then I do a show on Giant Bomb called Grub Snacks. I do that on Thursdays. It's for premium members, but you can get a free trial by going to giantbomb.com/upgrade and do it so that that Thursday morning you're ready to go and you can hang out with me for at least one show before you decide to cancel or whatever. But coming out, it's a fun time. And then GamesBeat is where I'm doing all my writing. So yeah, come hang out with us there, read our stuff. I appreciate it. And thanks for having me on, guys. I always love this. I love to listen to the show, so it's always fun to be here as well.
So we got Just in Time saying, rather than the standard format for the year's biggest state of play, Sony should produce a film. There would be a coherent story. People like Mark Cerny will have character arcs, and the games will be woven in. Imagine the excitement and rewatchability. Am I crazy?
Yeah, it's just Mark Cerny trying to get Knack 3 the entire time.
If they did that, that actually would be kind of fun to watch. If it was like an hour-long show and they were actually kind of funny.
I'd be into it. And Jim Ryan's the villain trying to shut it down.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, I'm into it.
Let's see, MVG, where can everyone find you?
Thanks for having me on. You can find me on Twitter at modernvintageg and on YouTube at modernvintagegamer. My announcement is I will not be at too many games this year, but I am hacking up a Wii Mini on a Monday for Monday's video. So check out my video on Monday.
Tag Nintendo of America in that. They're coming to get you.
I mean,
verified RGT tag Nintendo. Oh no.
I mean, you're bringing awareness to Eternal Darkness, so let's get that going.
That's a good thing.
Sean really just outright snitching on MVG out in public.
I thought Nintendo thought it was cool because he said, "Oh, the GameCube games can be played on the Wii Mini." So I was like, "Wow, that's really cool." Maybe Nintendo doesn't know that.
I'm sure they don't know that.
Doug Bowser likes MVG. You know, they're cool. Cool. It's all good.
Just the 2 copyright strikes. That's all.
that was Reggie.
That's true. It was Reggie.
Recon says MVG loves seeing Quake on the top of the bestseller charts on the eShop. Congrats, OJ. I'm late to the party, man, but you got to let me know how the "Are You Here" thing started.
Real quick. Essentially every time I was on streaming, like on Saturdays, people would ask me, "Are you going to be on the Spawncast?" Because the shows would run kind of close. Are you going to be, or even when it was earlier, and I'd always answer, yes, I'm going to be on the Spawncast. And people just kept doing that and not joking around, but they just like legitimately kept asking me. So then I started charging for it. And then people started paying me that's like as a joke. And then it just kept on going and evolving. So, and here we are, like how many years later now? Like I think I started coming on the Spawncast like 2018 or something like that.
Yeah, it's been a bit.
Yeah, it's been a while. So
where can everyone find you, OJ?
On the Spawncast. Player Essence. I got a cool video for tomorrow. going up, so you guys can check that out. Talking about some Atlas stuff, talking about a few other things as well. Some games that we thought were not coming, but looks like they're going to come to the Nintendo Switch, so that's going to be fun. And yeah, I stream daily as well, so if you guys want to come hang out, I pretty much stream 6 days out of the week, and I got new videos 7 days out of the week. So if you want to come watch some videos, hang out, just Player Essence. Also, you can follow me on Twitter at Player Essence. You know, if notifications don't work, like a lot of times they don't, you can follow me there. So yeah.
Beatles says, does anyone remember the Unholy War on PS1? Love the board game. Turned real-time arena mode they had going on. Can't think of anything quite like it. Lots of creativity and experimentation back in Gen 5 and 64 for the win. The Unholy War. I don't remember that game on the PS1. Interesting. Look at that. Sounds different. Board game turned real-time arena. Ricky says,
I remember seeing you when you see the box art, you'll remember seeing it, but I never played it.
Okay. Ricky says, been hearing about Game Pass on this podcast for about a year. Finally convinced to get into Xbox after being Nintendo PlayStation fan since forever. Just got my Xbox Series S and currently setting it up. Great podcast as always, guys. Keep it up. Yeah, just go right into Game Pass. You'll be overwhelmed immediately. There's a lot of stuff in there to pick from. And then Shinru says, do you guys think developers should make Switch the primary console developed for? I think it's a sore space to build their games from the ground up. Then if sales are good, port their games to other consoles. Thoughts?
Depends on the game.
Depends on the game, yeah. No.
It's really, really complicated. That's a really complicated question and a lot of complication involved. I mean, yeah, I mean, if you start developing a game and you're thinking about the Switch from the very beginning and you're making sure that the Switch is running at a good level of performance early, and you're thinking about the things that run well on the Switch, then you're in a good place. But it's very, very difficult to do that, especially if you're thinking about running on PC and PlayStation and Xbox at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Let's go to Jordan. Where can everyone find you?
You can find me over on my channel, Jordan Fringe. I have some more content coming up soon, and yeah, that's about it.
You got that silver play button hanging up? Where'd you put it?
Yeah, right there.
Oh, nice.
Nice. Okay, there it is.
Yeah, very good. I figured you put it somewhere like behind it. Okay, cool. Very good. Very good. How's it feel to have that hanging up?
It's cool. I like it. It's like a little mirror on there, you know.
Good stuff. Good stuff. What about Nate? Where can everyone find you, Nate?
You can find me on YouTube at Nate the Hate. MVG and myself have a new episode airing on Monday where we talk about Nintendo, a little bit about Metroid, and something that Nintendo may or may not be doing in the near future and why it may or may not be happening. So people can be on the lookout for that. And you can also find me on Twitter at Nate the Hate, followed by the number 2.
Okay, Fried Melon says, I love Death Stranding. Was my game of the year in 2019. Put some respect on Kojima RGT.
Seek help.
Shinra says, last question for the night. If Nintendo put up the price for their games at $70, would a bonus 10 to 20 page art book for each game be compelling enough for people to buy them at that price? Any $70 games felt worth it so far? I think if they just move it to 70, it's just gonna be the same thing they're doing now. Basically, they'll just move it to 70.
I've purchased 2 $70 games. I don't think, for me, it hasn't been worth it at all. Like,
trying to think.
I agree.
Ratchet and Clank. I got my fun out of Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, I think I got my $70 on a Ratchet.
One.
But 70?
Returnal's the one I'm kind of like.
I never thought Returnal should be 70. I always thought it should be cheaper. I mean, I love Returnal, but I don't think it's a $70 game.
Yeah, Returnal's the tough one for me. I'm like, it was fun. Yeah. I don't know. That's the tough part because we're seeing third-party games all go mostly 70 now. A lot of them anyway. So like Battlefield, that's going to be one I'm going to be curious about because it's just multiplayer. Is that going to feel like a worth 70 for me?
I'll pay 70 for like Final Fantasy 16. That's because you're going to get the content in there too. It's not only just about graphics, it's about content. These games are coming out 70 and they don't have the content.
Ratchet and Clank that wasn't a long game.
It's a short game. I mean, I get graphics, but I mean, like, I think don't we pay for content too as well? So I mean, like, for me, there's just not enough content in these $70 games so far.
Yeah, because we have Final Fantasy 16 will be an interesting one when that
I'll buy that
goes.
I'll buy that.
Or Horizon. I feel like Horizon will probably be worth it I think Gran Turismo 7 will be worth it for me too because of how I'll play those racing games for a while.
See, that's the thing with stuff. That's the thing with Horizon. is it going to be worth $70? Because you're going to get the exact same game on the PlayStation 4 for $60.
That's the question.
So for content-wise, it's $60 worth of content that you're paying $10 more for some slight PS5 upgrades.
And graphics.
Yeah,
well, it's also subjective too, though. Like some people think that, like, hey, man, it's worth the 70, and other people think it's not. So I think at the end of the day, it's also it's up to each individual. Like if it's worth it. Some games are worth 100 to people. They pay 100 or 200.
We had the same. I remember having the same conversation forever ago when the 360 upped it to $60, and we were like, is it worth that? Because 50, yeah, it's been fine at 50. We're doing 60.
And that question went away real fast, though. Is the thing? It's like a year later, we stopped asking that. I think it's the same thing's going to happen here a year from now.
Well, that's because like 70. I don't know. I'm curious when Microsoft still charges 60 for their games.
Yeah, they also haven't had anything to really say that it's next gen exclusive.
Yeah, but like they have Halo up, and that's 60.
But Halo's going to be.
But those on Xbox One.
Yeah, so if you buy it on Xbox One, you're going to get it on Xbox Series.
Like Flight Simulator 60. Although I guess it's 60 on the PC, right?
Yeah.
Right. So like we need a game that's going to be like we need something like next year to see how Microsoft is going to go with the pricing structure.
So like a Valve, for example.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And the thing with like $70 games is they're not going anywhere now. The window for the consumer to stand up and say we're not accepting these prices has gone and passed. The publishers have made a lot of money, and as far as they can tell from market research and data that has come in, people are more than willing to spend $70 on a game.
Pretty much. And I'm curious because I feel like next gen Nintendo will move to 70 as well if Microsoft will just be like, okay, we'll just quietly move to 70 now. Right. Just with everyone else around them is doing it. Like Nintendo knows they can get $70 for Breath of the Wild too. Let's be real. Like it would work.
I think what Nintendo will have to do, and it would be in their favor, is to go to the pricing structure that we have seen them use a bit on the Switch, but we more saw it on like the 3DS or even on the DS, is you're going to have your premium games like a Breath of the Wild 2. If you want to price that at $70, you can do it. And then you come in with the WarioWare.
Sure.
You price that at $50 or $40, kind of like what they're doing now. And Nintendo can take advantage of those multi-tier pricing structures, whereas you typically would see a Sony and a Microsoft say, here's our exclusive release. Regardless of budget, we're putting it at $70, like in the case of Returnal. Had they come in at a more appealing price, be it 60, be it maybe even 50, which it was very quickly discounted to, you would have opened up that appeal for that product a little more. But they want to say, let's get that initial wave of sales in the first month and a half at full price. Hopefully we sold enough units that we get a large portion of the marketing and overall development budget back, and then we'll move forward. Whereas you have Nintendo, they'll sit at WarioWare at $50 for the next 3 years.
Yeah, but like Xenoblade Chronicles 2, the price on those physical games went up so much. People are spending almost $100 on that game on eBay.
Very limited run.
But that's what I mean, though. Like people are already paying more than $70 for some of these games physically, anyway. So I mean, if Nintendo's gonna put it on the cartridge, I mean, why wouldn't they?
Why shouldn't we get that money? Yeah, why shouldn't we be getting that money?
Is Returnal worth more than Zelda?
Somebody maybe.
Probably not. I mean, like overall, is it worth more than Mario? Probably not. So I feel like that's the way Nintendo would look at it. Let's see. Ricky says, what would it take for a mobile game to at least make you guys interested in giving it a try?
I've played lots of mobile games. Yeah.
Well, all right, there you go.
Shout outs to Arc the Lad R. Shout outs to Arc the Lad.
There you go. Internet Explorer says, I can't wait for September 15th. Samus Turn's going to be epic. Who's hyped for the remake? And I think that was all of those. Let me just double check over here. We got Nate. Okay, cool. And Evan, what about you? Where can everyone find you?
Find me on Twitter at Kimmerix Project. If anything's coming up, my streams, all that, I usually post things there. Just general thoughts. That's pretty much where it goes. So,
Daryl A says there are 4 Xbox Series S systems in my local Walmart. Should I hold out for a year for Series X consoles, or should I cave and pick up the S?
Don't cave. Hold out.
The S is all right, but like if you want that premium experience, that X is I think worth the extra money.
Do not cave. Do not buy a digital only system. Wait, get the physical one. You can do everything the digital one can do, and you get more power.
Buy the physical system while you can, because time's limited. Time's limited. Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft all going towards that all digital future. That all digital Switch is coming.
No, dude.
You just wait. That
no, you just wait. Just wait. I'm not just waiting for anything. No. Why not?
That's gonna be. Watch that be the next revision. We're like Switch Pro, and they're like, we took the cards, we took the game slot out. There you go.
I ain't buying. I'll tell you that I ain't buying that. That's like fact. I ain't buying that.
This is. And then Karen says, "Guys, just wondering where is Little Devil Inside? Is it even coming out?"
Yeah, that's like one of two games I'm actually looking forward to, and I haven't seen much of it.
It was supposed to come out in July when Sony's
that game?
lineup leaked at CES, and then Sony just kind of took it off their lineup. I would imagine with Sony's State of Play coming up in a few weeks, we could potentially get an update on the product then. But if we don't hear anything come September, I'd have some serious questions as to the status of the game.
Supposedly,
the devs do post a lot of news, I think, on their Facebook page. They post it somewhere, and I remember reading something about them having to change a bunch of assets in the game because it wasn't up to what they liked for the characters. So that's all I know, was that they said they were changing that.
Okay. I think that's everything here. We're good to go. Thanks everyone for tuning in to Spawncast episode 230. We're back next Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time. We'll see you guys then.
Think for yourself.
Shut up.
Question authority.